pure. Pure is the play of children who need no judges, no cheering crowds. The snowbank hillsides and the frozen lakes were never obstacles, but opportunities for play. The terrain and its children joined long ago in this playful dance, and from this, the Winter Games began. The children, now Olympians, hope to realize the dreams and work of a lifetime. Purity of purpose drives the athlete who seeks redemption from failures past, or consistent excellence over time, in the attempt to reclaim past glory and the will to endure and to win. Purity in a shared creative vision, expressed in the rhythm of the dance on ice. Purity in inspired victory. And throughout history, the fulfillment of the Olympic dream. Now the world's attention is drawn to this magnificent Nordic setting. Awesome in its natural splendor, breathtaking in its scope, yet quaint and simple. Welcome to Norway, where once again Winter Games will be played, only now there will be cheering crowds, and all the world will see. The Lyskjardsbakkene, the ski jumping arena in Lillehammer Olympic Park, where right now the early arrivals are trying to keep warm. The guests of honor today are the 1,902 athletes from a record 66 countries who will take part in the spectacular pageantry and solemn protocol of the opening ceremony. The weather, in a word, cold. It is currently 18 degrees Fahrenheit with 5-mile-an-hour winds and a wind chill factor of 12. Hello, everyone, and velkommen, as the Norwegians say. I'm Greg Gumbel.
And I'm Andrea Joyce.
We know that the weather back home in the United States is also making news, and we hope that wherever you're watching that you are safe and warm this evening.
I'm feeling very safe and warm right next to you, Greg. Up in this part of Norway, some 360 miles from the Arctic Circle, cold weather is a way of life. In fact, the Norwegians have a great saying, there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing.
I'm not sure I agree with that, do you? What is unusual, for Lillehammer at least, is the snow accumulation. After 5 winters of little or no snow, a record 55 inches has fallen here this winter.
But the folks here have been waiting a long, long time for this great day, and nothing is going to deter them. More than 40,000 people, roughly twice the population of Lillehammer, will be coming by bus and car, as you can see from the first blimp ever to hover over a Winter Olympics. They are also coming by train. Many people are staying in Oslo, the site of the 1952 Winter Games, which is 2 hours south of here, by rail. And what could be more appropriate here in this country, the country that invented skiing, than to make your way to the opening ceremony on cross-country skis? And that is the way to stay warm.
As for the athletes, they will be walking over from the Olympic Village, which is located just outside Lillehammer Olympic Park. Our colleague James Brown was over there earlier and had a chance to chat with U.S. bobsled driver Brian Scheimer.
Brian, how does a sunshine guy from Florida love the cold weather?
I'm not too sure I love it, but I love to compete. I love the sport of bobsledding, and I think we have an excellent opportunity this year to win a medal.
You talk about that opportunity, a chance to become the first American in nearly 40 years to do such. How good are your chances?
Well, we've struggled this year in the World Cup, and with the testing of new boat iron sleds, I think they're finally tuned and ready to go. And the team, being a little complacent earlier in the season, but we've been looking for this moment, and I think we're ready.
You're a veteran of all the pomp and circumstance of the opening ceremony. Does it help you to focus more so?
Yeah, there's no doubt. This is what it all boils down to. Is once the opening ceremonies and you get to see the people, you're there, you're with your whole team, and to see, the camaraderie of the athletes, you get that extra adrenaline pump, and you're about a foot off the ground, but I think that's something we need going into the competition.
Keep that foot on the ground during competition. The best to you.
Thank you.
2 years ago in Albertville, Paul Wiley captured a silver medal in men's figure skating. This time around, he's part of our CBS broadcast team, and he caught up with world champion luger Wendell Suko of the U.S.
Wendell, you come into this opening ceremony today as a world champion. You've got family here from Marquette. How does that make you feel?
Having my family watch me compete and be here at the Olympics with me is probably the most special part of the Olympics. This is what I've been working for 8 years, and it's nice that they're here to join in with the events that are taking place.
How have the preparations been going and the training runs and everything?
Everything's been really good. I feel confident and happy. The training has been exceptionally well, so we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Also joining our Olympics coverage from CBS News is Ed Bradley.
Greg, I'm down here on the floor of what you might call the People's Delegation, among the early arrivals of the spectators here for the opening ceremonies. The tickets for these games were distributed in a very Norwegian fashion. Every household in this country received a form. People were asked to choose the event they wanted to attend, and then there was a national lottery for the sale and distribution of those tickets. Scalpers, however, must be an international phenomenon. We've seen ads in the newspapers. There are about 35,000 seats here, and the best seats in the house, people were asking up to $700 for them. A standing room only ticket, which normally sells for $45, we've seen people asking $250. And by the way, everybody who arrives here has been given one of these white smocks or a poncho. It's supposed to make everyone blend in and make the pictures look better. However, because of the record snowfall, a lot of people aren't putting them on. They're using them for seats to cover the snow that's still on some of these benches. I've been here 3 days. This is the first day I've seen the sun. It's snowed every day. It's still beautiful. The temperature is dropping. And I can tell you, underneath this smock, Greg and Andrea, I've got on everything I own.
They told you would take extra hours. You'd work extra hours out here, and that's just to get dressed,
Sure.
right? All right. American figure skater Nancy Kerrigan will not be marching today as a precaution to rest her knee, especially in the cold weather. Earlier today, she worked out again on the Olympic ice in Hammer, some 30 miles to the south. And later at a press conference, she was asked what her reaction will be when she sees Tanya Harding.
I don't know how I'm going to feel when I see her, and I don't know what will happen. I don't know. And that's, I think, personal and between the two of us, not you guys. I've said before, it's kind of like reading a book and you just can't wait to get to the end and see what happens. I love mysteries, and so that's kind of what this is all like.
When we come back, we'll set the stage for some of the Olympic competition that gets underway tomorrow, beginning with the men's downhill, when our coverage of the 17th Olympic Winter Games continues here on CBS.
The Olympic Winter Games on CBS are sponsored by Diet Coke. 16 days, more than 60 events, and plenty of opportunities for a Diet Coke break. Windy.
Usual sight. Here in Norway, ice sculpting is an art, and the raw materials are abundant. These are some of the ice sculptures, frozen monuments to the Olympic spirit, which give a whole new meaning to the term Cubist art.
And Greg, beginning tomorrow, the world's fastest skiers will be doing some fancy carving of their own. And for a look at the skiing competition, let's join our Alpine coverage team in Kvitfjell.
The speed and skills of downhill racing, and tomorrow the risks pay off with Olympic medals. I'm Tim Ryan with two-time U.S. Olympian downhiller Andy Mill. And Andy, a third and final day of downhill training.
Well, a surprise over the last 3 days, a relative unknown to the world of skiing. Pietro Vitellini from Italy has been blistering this track, but America's Tommy Moe is right in the hunt. This course is to Tommy's liking, icy and technically demanding. After 2 podium finishes earlier this season, he's proven he has the skills to medal. AJ Kidd has been out of sync and looks to the skies for answers, while teammate Kyle Rasmussen continues to charge. Fast all week has been Austria's Patrick Ortlieb, who has a great chance to fly into history books with a repeated gold from Albertville. The spoiler for all may be Italy's Pietro Vitellini, who's been in the top 3 in training every day.
So lots of excitement here tomorrow, and that's without the skier who is probably the most flamboyant personality of these games.
Well, Alberto Tomba, he'll be trying to make alpine history by winning gold in 3 consecutive Olympics. We won't see him until next week in the giant slalom, but we can hardly wait.
Andy! Ciao.
We'll attack again.
Yeah, sure.
Alberto!
Salute. Because. Great.
Do you have fun, Alberto Tomba?
Some water. I need some water. Thanks. See you.
Well, it's no surprise that some of Tomba's Italian supporters are here already, creating an Italian hospitality house, stocking it with Italian wine, cheese, and pasta, guaranteed to make Tomba feel like these Olympics are in the Italian Alps. And for other items on the Italian ski menu, here's Kristen Cooper.
Well, the women's menu includes calamari Compagnoni, Deborah Compagnoni of Italy, who will defend her Olympic Super G title on Tuesday. Olympic history will be made here at Kvitfjell in the downhill, where for the first time ever, the women will compete on the same course as the men. U.S. medal contenders include the woman who took home the silver in '92, Hillary Lind. Lind is coming off a World Cup downhill win in Spain last week. And young extrovert Peekaboo Street, who blossomed at last year's World Championships. The main competition comes from a German team deep in talent in the speed events. They're led by Katja Zeisinger, who's been a dominant force on the World Cup. The premier gate event ought to be the giant slalom, where there'll be a fierce battle between Compagnoni, defending gold medalist Pernilla Wiberg, and Anita Wachter. The U.S. chances ride with Heidi Volker of Pittsfield, Mass., the surprise story of the women's team this year. Tim?
Bonus Tomba for the Tomaniacs, who will go through walls to get more of their beloved Alberto. That's it for now from Alpine Skiing.
And you'll see the men's downhill in all its glory tomorrow night during our primetime coverage.
Compared to the sprawling layout of previous Olympics, the venues at these games have an intimate neighborhood feel. For instance, imagine you have a house up on the mountain just across the lake in Jovik. A couple of dish-rattling tons of dynamite later, you have the ultimate home improvement and the final word in rec rooms, a 5,500-seat ice hockey arena. Talking about having water in the basement. Meanwhile, up in Kvitfjell, alpine skiing fans will be flocking while the flock will be fanning out near the finish line. And finally, back here in Lillehammer, the story of a dog and the organizing committee who loved him. Where in the world is Carmen Strand? So close to the hockey arena, he needed a special credential to get in and out of his doghouse.
They do pay attention to detail here in Norway. Still ahead, while almost everyone seems to be on their way here, we'll see who's left in downtown Lillehammer. And next, a look at the Olympic speed skating competition as the skates are sharpened and ready for action when we continue from Lillehammer right after this.
For the past 2 years, they've been auctioning countdown T-shirts here in Lillehammer. Yesterday, the final shirt was on the block, and the highest bid, 56,000 kroner. That totals a nice $7,500 Olympic souvenir.
Starting tomorrow, it'll be the speed skaters who are bidding to be the fastest to the finish line. Dick Stockton picks up the story from Hamar, site of the stunning speed skating oval.
The Viking ship was the mode of transportation in the town of Hamar 1,000 years ago. Today, this extraordinary inverted Viking vessel provides the setting for speed skating. Set along the shore of Lake Mjøsa, the track is touted as the fastest in the world today. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, and welcome to the Viking Ship. I've had the opportunity to see many spectacular settings in all sports throughout the years, but believe me, the Viking Ship catches your eye. It is a perfect backdrop for Bonnie Blair and Dan Jansen when they skate for Olympic medals in the next couple of weeks. But make no mistake, this track is fast. Besides the 4 world records that were established in the World Cup in December, just the other day, Dan Jansen skated the fastest 1,000 meters in practice. It was unofficial, but you get the idea that world records are about to fall. Well, how fast is this track? Well, here's a man who knows something about speed, you might say. Let's go down to the ice, and my partner, Eric Hayden.
That's right, Dick. Over the last couple of days, I've had a chance to skate and talk with some of the skaters, and we're going to all be disappointed if world records aren't broken. This ice is extremely fast. It has good glide and good grip in the corners, which is great for everybody, but especially for Bonnie Blair and Dan Jansen.
The last time Dan Jansen competed here in Hamar, he became the first man ever to break the 36-second barrier in the 500 meters, speed skating's equivalent to the 4-minute mile. Since the birth of his daughter Jane 8 months ago, his past Olympic troubles seem to be behind him.
In the past, I had seemed to go into Olympics with a, well, you know, if-type attitude, and now it's kind of a, I just know something, or I'm more at peace with myself, maybe. And I feel that peace, and it just gives me a lot of confidence.
Bonnie Blair is the most decorated woman in U.S. Winter Olympic history, winning 3 gold medals in the past 2 Olympics. 2 more here, and she would become the most golden of all female U.S. Olympians. And as always, Bonnie is ready to go.
Actually, I've been feeling pretty good basically all season long. Just came off a couple of competitions where I've been skating really well, skating fast, you know, my 2nd and 3rd fastest times ever. So I'm actually closer to I was in 1988 than I've ever been. And I'm looking forward to the competition, looking forward to everything to get going, and hoping the boys start us off on the right foot.
Known as the distance king, Johan Olaf Koss is the hometown hero here in Norway. On this very ice in December, he set a new world record in the 5,000 meters, bringing the entire crowd of 10,000 screaming fans to their feet. But Johan knows how to handle pressure.
It's important for me and also for the others in the team to know that the pressure are there, but to tackle it, to do something with your mind so you're not caring. It's not the meaning. The pressure is not there. You can take it away, or you can use it the right way, so you can use it to go faster.
You know, Johan Olaf Koss to speed skating in Norway is basically like Michael Jordan to basketball in America. You know, he's the one that everybody in this country wants to come watch.
And Eric, we started off with the men's 5,000 meters tomorrow, and this is really a hot ticket. 200,000 people try to get in to see this race.
It's going to be a great race. The crowd, this is going to be the most discriminating crowd in speed skating. They're going to be out there with their stopwatches, pads of paper, recording lap times. They're going to be going wild. If this building is still standing after tomorrow, I'll be surprised.
So Koss, the Norwegian, the world record holder, chased by 3 Dutchmen in the men's 5,000. That's the story from the Viking Ship.
We hope it's still standing. Dan Jansen skating in the 500 on Monday night.
It is among the highest honors an athlete can receive to be chosen to carry his or her nation's flag in the opening ceremony. On Thursday night, the American team captains selected Cammie Myler, who was overcome with emotion as she hugged her fellow loser, John Edwards.
And still to come, Charles Kuralt with the story of the Olympic flame and the daring young man who will fly it down the mountain. And next, a trip downtown where they're flipping over the Olympics. And our coverage of the opening ceremony will continue on CBS after this message and a word from your local station.
Along the 15-minute walk from the Olympic Village to the ski jumping arena, our Olympic blimp coverage is brought to you by Goodyear, makers of the all-new dual-channel Eagle Aqua Tread.
And from overhead to underground, these are some of the Norwegians who will participate in the colorful folklore display that's coming up in just a little while.
And as we will see, the Norwegians take their mythology seriously. They also have plenty of living legends, and the crowd is settling in to cheer them on here at Lillehammer Olympic Park. But the national pastime in Norway is Nordic skiing. And in the hills above Lillehammer, 100,000 fans are expected to line the courses. Some hardy fans have already pitched tents and are camping out to assure themselves choice viewing spots for the competition that begins tomorrow.
And Greg, these are the medals that everyone's hoping to win. They're sculpted from native Norwegian granite, carved from the mountains that dominate the local landscape.
Andrea, it's still apt to say that they'll be mining for gold because first there's the explosion, then the cutting, the sanding, the grading, and then finally the fitting of the Olympic emblem. 5 interlocked rings, creating an Olympic treasure worth infinitely more than its weight in granite. Well, one person who's content not to fight the traffic and the crowds is Pat O'Brien, who is downtown. Who better to take us on a merry stroll than the host of Olympic Late Night? Pat?
All right, Greg, Andrea, thank you. Hi, everybody. We're at Storgata, the main thoroughfare here in Lillehammer, and we're going to take our horse on. Lisa, let's go. Our horse and our buggy right down the street for us, and we just go, yet, right? Yep. The horse works. Storgata is, as I said, the main thoroughfare, and this is where the tens and tens of thousands of people will gather throughout the Olympics. You can see just about everything here. Here, a round of songs for everybody, my friend, okay? Keep going. I think I just gave him 10 bucks, but he'll play all afternoon long. Stores, souvenirs, T-shirts that cost anywhere from $50 to $100, as they usually do at big events like this. And everywhere you go, you see people from all different parts of the world out here shopping. And you know, Norway is a troll country, and they have sea trolls and forest trolls. These are forest trolls, and inside this is a troll shop where you can buy just about any kind of troll imaginable. I told Sean I'd get him one. I'll get him maybe a scary one. You can see they're doing a brisk business in here. Let's get back up on here. Lisa, let's go. Yeah. Back up the street. Storgata is open virtually all day long. This isn't going to work. Let's get out. Lisa, thank you very much. We're going to walk down the street here. Product of the North Country, of course, are polar bears. Hello, Mr. Bear. How are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. As I said, anything you want here on the Storgata, we walk down here. Hey, how are you? Here's the T-shirts I was talking about. Hawking them along. You hear traditional country Norwegian music. Let's go up here and see what we got. Hello, everybody. We have the policeman here following us along. Get any kind of newsstand you want. Pins. Look at the pins.
How about a CPS pin?
I have a pin for you right here. Thank you very much. See ya. Pin trading is about the biggest thing at the Olympics. Look at Samis. How are you? Yes. Nice to see you. Hot dog. Yes. Thank you. This is the mayor of the Sami community here. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yes. How are you, honey? Goodbye. Got a hot dog. I wonder if this is any good. Go down here. CDs cost $30 here in Lillehammer. And, oh, look at this. Christian and Haken. Statues. No, they're the real thing. How are you? The mascots. How are you? Nice to see you. Have fun at the Olympics. Okay? I got to take you inside the grocery store. Can you hold this, please? It's a hot dog? No? Okay, we'll go inside the grocery store. What do you see at the store here? For the first time, they have winter strawberries in Norway. And then we go down here. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Show me the reindeer meat. Yes. Traditional meat here, reindeer meat in Norway. They eat it twice a year, I'm saying. It's in season now, right, reindeer? Yeah. There it is. It's very frozen. Nice to see you. Get to my hot dog later. Back outside in the Storgata. And speaking of reindeer meat, hello, Santa. How are you? Nice to see you. Well, that about does it for us. I had to get ready for the late night show. Have my hot dog. Haldebra, so long.
There we see downtown Lillehammer in the distance. Quite a trip, Pat. We want to go with you next time. Right now, let's check in again with Ed Bradley. Ed?
Well, this is really an international crowd, Andrea. So far, I've met people, obviously, from Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, but others from France, from Germany, from Africa, from Japan, from Korea, and even some from the United States. With me, Pete and Chubby Marinello from Long Island, who are season ticket holders for the New York Giants. I think these seats are a little better.
Yeah, still rather see Phil Simms and Lawrence Taylor, but what are you going to do?
What brought you here? You've got an international connection.
My cousin Phil De Gaetano's on the Italian hockey team, so we're going to see them play Canada tomorrow night.
So you're rooting for the Italian hockey team?
I'm rooting for U.S. to win a 10-9 game, but Phil DiGaetano to score 9 goals, I hope.
Now, they've given you those white ponchos to put on. What are you going to do with them?
Sit on them.
Two New Yorkers, Andrea. Back to you upstairs.
All right, Ed. Still ahead, a look at tomorrow's figure skating competition.
And next, Charles Kuralt will show us how they're getting ready to light the Olympic flame in uniquely Norwegian style. All that and much more still ahead as we continue from Lillehammer on CBS.
The Olympic Winter Games on CBS are sponsored by IBM.
Soon it will be illuminated by the Olympic flame, and then the games will begin. And this is where the flame that will light the cauldron originated, in Greece, in the shadow of Mount Olympus, where the ancient games were first held nearly 3,000 years ago. Its long journey to Lillehammer is now nearly complete. It is on the Birkebeiner Trail, less than 3 miles from this arena, and all of Norway, indeed all of the world, is anticipating the drama of its grand entrance here.
Right now, let's join our friend Charles Kuralt, who is perched high atop the ski jump. Charles.
It's the best view in Norway, I'll tell you that, Greg, though I'm trying very hard to remember not to take one step backward from up here. Of course, it's a great honor to be the ski jumper chosen to make this fabulous trip into the arena with the flaming torch. The honor fell to Ole Gunnar Fidjestol, 4 times national jumping champion in Norway. And he practiced, 15 times. He made the jump perfectly. On the 16th time, just a couple days ago, this is what happened. He was out cold for 10 minutes or so down there. Fidjestol is fine now, but the honor of carrying the torch today has passed to 26-year-old Stein Gruben, who's also a former member of the Olympic team. You went to see Ole in the hospital. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's fine. A little headache, but it's over now, so he's fit for fight.
And so now you're going to make this trip. Are you confident?
Yeah, I think its weather is great, and I feel confident.
And the fact that 200 million people will be watching won't make a difference?
No, I think it's same for me, or 10,000 or 10 millions. It's the same.
Thank you, Stein. We'll all be watching and pulling for you. His jump is going to be the great spectacle of the opening ceremonies, of course. But I'll tell you, Greg, just standing up here, looking down the slope to the arena and the town of Lillehammer and the frozen lake beyond, that's spectacle enough for me.
All right, Charles, thank you. 10 years ago at this time, the Winter Olympics were getting underway in the city of Sarajevo. Today, the Bosnian capital has been reduced to rubble. Koševo Stadium, where thousands of doves once flew as symbols of peace in the opening ceremony, is in shambles. The lumber from its bleachers is being salvaged to construct coffins. Next door, Zetra Arena, where Katarina Witt and Torvill Indien skated to Olympic gold, is but a bombed-out shell, yet another symbol of wanton bloodshed and destruction. CBS newsman Mark Phillips was a recent visitor to this war-torn capital.
This is a tale of one city, but of 2 worlds. One a world of color and glory and games, the other a world of darkness and despair and death. Yet they are one, these worlds. They are Sarajevo.
I am convinced that these games will remain forever in our hearts and memories.
Maybe. Until 1984, unless you were a student of history, you probably hadn't even heard of Sarajevo.
Yugoslavia, the home team.
But when the world showed up here 10 years ago, this remote mountain capital of this obscure Yugoslav republic touched everyone's hearts.
I love it. I love the people. I love everything about it.
People are excellent. We're living with a family here in Sarajevo. They're treating us like kings and queens. Excellent food, good time.
But the flame has gone out in Sarajevo. There's another kind of fire now. Mountains once filled with skiers now hide Serbian artillery and mortars. Bobsled and luge runs now provide cover for snipers. These hills are alive with the sound of death. The ski lifts and slopes here now stand like silent memorials. The flagpoles, which once symbolized friendship and peace, are now silent sentinels to war. No cheering crowds now, just the sound of distant artillery. And new, grim statistics now. At the speed skating oval, they used to measure things in tenths and thousandths of seconds. Now, in the cemetery that surrounds it, they measure the tens of thousands of victims. 10,000 dead in Sarajevo, 60,000 wounded. Sarajevo gave the world glorious moments, but in the skating rink where Torval and Dean achieved their triumph, where Katarina Witt captured her first gold, the glory has turned to grief, the celebration to sorrow, the triumph to tragedy and bitterness.
These people that came here to enjoy those games, to enjoy the hospitality of Bosnians, those same people should help us now.
There's one patch of Sarajevo that says it all. Right here in front of the bombed-out department store, above the burnt-out supermarket, is the Sarajevo Olympic symbol. The Olympic rings now crumbling. Sarajevo's famous snowflake symbol now smashed, like the memory of the games themselves and all the goodwill they were supposed to represent. Remarkably, though, in a place where every image and ideal of the games seems to have been obliterated, in some, an Olympic dream survives. In Slavenko Likic, who can only now look at the oval he dreamed of training on. A Yugoslav champion, he can only reminisce in his parents' dark apartment about those innocent days when he raced in Albertville.
My gold medal. Albertville Olympic Winter Games.
Your accreditation from
Yeah,
Albertville.
accreditations from Albertville.
Yes.
This is one accreditation.
He hasn't skated in more than 2 years. He's stuck in Sarajevo, but he trains every day in hope, running a route of danger. Just days before we filmed Slavenko here, a neighbor, Mrs. Pajic, was killed by a mortar shell on these steps. She'd been on her way to the Red Cross with a note for her granddaughter saying all was well.
And I hope that I will be in Lillehammer in Hamar Olympic Stadium, skating there with all great speed skaters of the world like Dan Jansen, Johan Kos, Gunda Niemann.
You still have the Olympic spirit?
Yes.
But it's more of a lament, like the mournful tunes played by Slavenko's father, whose music you've heard throughout this story. A lament for a son, for a people, for a city. The world reveled in Sarajevo then, saying it would remember. But when Sarajevo needs it most, the world has forgotten.
The Slavenko Likic dream to skate here in these games will not come true. He remains stranded in Sarajevo, where Bosnian Olympic officials told him they cannot be of any help. But IOC President Juan Antonio Samaran announced that he is trying to organize international corporations to help rebuild those Olympic sites.
And as we continue from Lillehammer, a taste of what's in store for us in the eagerly anticipated figure skating competition. That story and more right after this. Jumping arena, where soon these Winter Olympics will be officially declared open and the Olympic flame lit. Our James Brown and Paul Wiley are downstairs with some of the American medal hopefuls. JB.
I'm standing here with Tommy Moe, and Tommy, I understand for a guy from Alaska, these are kind of balmy conditions for you.
Yeah, I'm fitting right in here. This is just like Alaska. The weather's nice and cold, and it's great for skiing.
Speaking of skiing, I understand that both on and off the slopes that you only know one speed, and that's fast. Is that a key to your success?
You bet, man. That's the only speed I know, is going as fast as I can down the mountain, and tomorrow's the men's downhill, so hope everybody at home tunes in and watches the Americans.
Folks are thinking that you are an odds-on favorite for a medal, perhaps even the gold. What do you think is going to be the key for you?
I just have to keep it simple, you know, keep the basics going that I've been thinking about, and all I have to do is think about keeping my hands forward and stay on the outside ski and looking for the finish line.
All right, Tommy Moe of the USA, congratulations and good success to you.
Thank you.
All right, now let's go to my colleague, Paul Wiley.
Thanks, James. I'm standing here with two-time United States figure skating champion Scott Davis, the pride of Great Falls, Montana. Scott, this is your first Olympics. What are you feeling right now?
It's really exciting just to be here. You know, it's a great feeling. I'm a little cold, got many layers on, so I'm just really happy for this.
Great. How's the skating going?
Good, good. Feel really prepared. You know, the rink's really nice down there, and the Norwegians are really friendly, helpful, so everything's great.
Shaping up to be a tough competition, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be pretty tough, but I'm just having fun here for a while and just going to go enjoy the opening ceremonies.
Great. Good luck, Scott. Have a good one. Thanks. Back to you, Andrea and Greg.
All right, thank you, Paul. The sport that you excelled in, figure skating, has always been one of the Winter Games' great attractions. This year's competition, featuring several former gold medalists, promises to be especially memorable. Vern Lundquist sets the stage for us.
Figure skating's greatest legends are about to return to the Olympic Winter Games.
This is the Northern Lights Hall in Hamar, the site of the Olympic figure skating competition. It may not look all that interesting from the outside, but inside the arena, I can promise you that the emotions will be intense. Good evening, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist. With the reinstatement of the professionals, the return of several Olympic gold medalists to competition, and all of the attention that has been paid to the ladies' event, we have here potentially the most exciting figure skating event in Olympic history. It starts tomorrow night when, for the first time, Olympic gold medalists will compete on the same ice. The 1988 gold medalists, Ekaterina Gordieva and Sergei Grinkov, against their Russian rivals, the 1992 gold medalist, Natalia Mishkuchanak and Artur Dmitriev. The Russians have won every pair's Olympic gold medal since 1964. Now there is one team that can interrupt that streak. The 1990 World Championship was the first time that Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler of Canada shared a podium with the Russians. No one thought Brasseur and Eisler had a chance, but their performance was so good that the memory of silver still haunts them. Now, Isabelle and Lloyd believe gold is within their grasp in Hamar.
There's no question that we're by far the best lifting pair in the world. I mean, we do lifts that no one else can do. You know, we have Brasseur Eisler star, we have back overhead, we have triple lateral. No one in the ranks are even trying it.
After 2 Olympics and 6.5 years together, Isabelle and Lloyd have formed a unique bond that is evident in their on-ice relationship.
Every day we go to the rink and train, and, you know, personally, I think we're both glad to get the rink to spend 3 hours together and to talk about everything, you know, to bug each other and hit each other and have fun. And we come out the rink, we skated bad or good, but we know, you know, it doesn't matter how we skated, we know that we enjoy being with the other one. We're great friends, we always will be. And our coaches will always be there. I mean, I'm always going to talk to Joe, Eric, and Ushi. You know, no matter how old I'm going to be, I'm always going to talk to them. And he's always going to get a phone call from me. He can't get rid of me. He's stuck with me.
Brasseur and Eisler proved their championship form last year in Prague. Their breathtaking performance at the 1993 World Championship was a bittersweet victory, however, marred by the death of Isabelle's father, Gilles, who had died just 6 months earlier from heart problems.
In '93, I lived 2 things, you know. I lived the death of my father and a gold medal. And I always thought, you know, winning a gold medal was the greatest thing. But I realized that in '92, I might have, you know, been 3rd, but at least my dad was there watching me. In '93, I won the gold, but my dad wasn't there. And if I would have a chance between the 2 of them, I would pick my dad in the 3rd medal. But, I mean, it was great that at least, you know, we got something. We got a gold medal. So it was great, but I would pick my dad anytime.
Isabel and Lloyd had a tough workout on the main rink today. She bruised a rib during practice a week ago and said it still hurts. But they'll have more time than anyone else to get ready. They are the final pair to skate tomorrow night.
Isabelle Brasseur waits with her Canadian teammates for the opening ceremony to begin. And here in Lillehammer, we are very honored and pleased indeed to be joined by the First Lady of the United States, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Thanks for joining us here.
I am so thrilled to be here.
Is this your first Olympics?
Oh, it is. But, you know, I love the Olympics ever since I was a little girl. And to be here, to be able to see an opening ceremony in person instead of on television, is just a thrill for me.
Well, now, you grew up in an athletic family.
Yes.
Your brother and your father. Did you have dreams ever of being on an Olympic team? And what sport would it have been?
Well, I used to love to ice skate. And I would even enter ice skating contests. And one time I remember when I was a little girl, I thought, oh, I'm so far behind. I'm so far ahead, I didn't see anybody behind me because I was in last place. I was never very fast. But I used to sit around and dream about that. I think most kids do.
What's your agenda while you're here in Norway?
To have a great time and to meet a lot of people from around the world, particularly Norwegians. I've had a chance today to meet the Prime Minister of Norway for the second time and the King and Queen. Norway is a very good friend of the United States and has been for many years. So it's been really nice for me to actually get to talk to them and thank them for their long-standing friendship with our country.
Now, you visited the Athletes Village a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Who did you get a chance to talk to?
Oh, I had a great time. I talked with a lot of our American athletes. I think I saw most of the hockey team and most of the bobsled and luge teams and the women biathletes and a lot of the other athletes.
What'd you tell them?
Just that we were very proud of them. And you know, two of our delegates this year are Olympians, Florence Griffith Joyner and Tom McMillan, who are the head of the President's Council on Physical Fitness. So they could really relate because they've been here. They know what it feels like, you know, these moments of anxiety. And we all told them that just making it on the Olympic team for the United States to be here to represent their country was such an honor, and we were sure they would do their very best.
We thank you so much for joining us here. We hope you enjoy your stay here in Norway as much as we know we will.
We will. Thanks.
Thank you very much. We are now just minutes away from the start of the opening ceremony of the 17th Olympic Winter Games. We will have that for you when we continue here on CBS after this message and a word from your local station. This is the moment for which the people of Lillehammer, Norway have waited years.
They are unfolding a huge Norwegian flag that measures 1,615 square feet. That sets a new Guinness record. And Greg, we should keep in mind Norwegians are very patriotic. They love to wave the flag. This is a relatively young country. They only gained their independence in 1905 from Sweden, and that is quite a sight, the size of that flag.
Paul Bergen and Ronnie Helgeson, both of Oslo, both in their mid-30s, have arrived with the Norwegian flag. What happens at this opening ceremony relates strongly to Norwegian culture, and the gentleman who is about to assume a position in the center of the arena, Nils Aslak Valkeapää, is very symbolic of that, Andrea.
He sure is, Greg. This is a tribute to the Sami people. He is one of the most popular Samis. It's an ancient ethnic group, much like Native Americans. They've struggled for recognition. And Greg, when we were younger, I think our geography teachers probably referred to them as Laps, but they do prefer to be called Samis.
They are very similar to Native Americans of the United States, and they date back more than 8,000 years. They're spread across the northern regions of Norway and Sweden and Finland and Russia. Niels Aslak Valkeapää is now performing a yoik, which is an ancient rhythmic chant or poetic song of the Sami people.
He wrote this one especially for the Olympics. It means winter plays, and it is his way of welcoming everyone to the winter's wonders.
Valkeapää lives in Finnmark, which is the northernmost county in Norway, and the Sami people rely very much on the reindeer as the staple of the Sami household.
The sound of the yoik is supposed to keep the reindeer herd quiet, and we are definitely hoping that that is the case today because they've had some problems with these reindeer, Greg. In fact, I'm glad that we're a few feet away from them.
These reindeer traveled for a week in a thermos car in the north of Norway to Lillehammer, and one reindeer did run wild and was chased around the center of Lillehammer earlier this week.
Well, they're used to being out in the woods, and what they've done here is that they've placed Samis at each of the exits of the arena just in case one does decide to head for the woods. They'll wrestle them down.
The Sami are wearing their traditional Sami costumes. All their clothes and sleds and harnesses are homemade. There are some of the Samis guarding the exits, and in case the reindeer do get a little out of control, they seem to be a little better now than they were earlier this week.
I think that's hazardous duty pay those guys get.
In the center of the arena, Niels Aslak Valkeapää. In the middle of the reindeer who is accompanying Valkeapää, he misbehaved in rehearsal and he wasn't terrific today. We'll be back.
Some stores say they've changed, but mostly they're cosmetic changes.
War-ravaged country to compete here. And also a story about American families who needed an angel to get them over here to Norway.
We're also going to have lots of fun. We're going to see what it's like to take a run with American star Peekaboo Street. Plus, Dr. Howard Torman's going to be with us to talk about the stress and the fatigue and the pain that comes with Olympic-level competition. And if that's not enough, we're going to have some friends sing and dance for you.
Let's go back to Greg and Andrea.
Thank you, Paula and Harry. Back here in Lillehammer Olympic Park, the Norwegians are putting on quite a dazzling display of their traditional native dress and folkways. Well, to the sound of a mouth harp, boys and girls skiing down the ski jump in telemark style and somersaulting as they carry their fiddles.
Somersaults, twists, and turns It's almost like dancing on skis. Telemark is a region of Norway known as the cradle of modern skiing. That's where Sandra Nordheim is from, and he's the guy who invented the ski binding, and that's why we can turn on skis and do all of those other things except for go in a straight line.
For the Norwegians, it's like dancing. And now the fiddlers join in to play a well-known Norwegian folk tune called Fani Tule, an old Norwegian fiddle tune said to have been inspired by the devil.
Like a religion in Norway. They are so proud of their winter sports here, determined to do everything right for these games. The president of the Lillehammer Olympic Organizing Committee, Gerhard Heiberg, said if we don't do it right, they're going to give these games to Sweden. And the people in Lillehammer and all of Norway knew what that meant. They didn't want that to happen. They're very proud of the effort that they've put into this spectacle.
Mr. Heiberg also said if you aren't going to do it right, I don't want to be a part of it.
Well, he's a no-nonsense guy, that's for sure.
Into the arena now. Horses and more skiers.
These are traditional telemark sweaters you see the folks wearing down there, the thick felt trousers, and the women are dressed in their traditional red costumes. The sweaters look a little familiar, don't they, Greg?
Yes, they do. They've been all over town all week long. These horses, incidentally, have been in training for just this for the last 2.5 years.
With the 1992 games in Albertville, the folks in Norway felt that it was a small event in a big country. They say here in Lillehammer, this is a big event for a small country.
Just the 8 organizations that are making up this segment of the opening ceremony came together in June of 1990, all for just this moment. Into the arena now. Skiers joined by some 250 folk dancers and another 150 fiddlers from folk music and dance clubs, all from the heart of Norway. The horses, incidentally, from 3 different parts of the country: Eastern Norway, Western Norway, and from the north.
These are traditional Norwegian fiddle songs, including halling music, and that's characteristic of the Hallingdal Valley in central Norway. It's a little bit like square dancing, a little bit like our square dancing.
It is definitely a celebration.
Dave Thomas. Coverage of the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympic Games. The royal family of Norway is now arriving.
His Majesty the King of Norway, King Harald V, who will turn 56 years of age on the 21st of this month, and Her Majesty Queen Sonja.
When the king was first asked how he wanted to enter the arena, he mentioned in passing, well, why not use that old sleigh we've got rusting in the royal basement? Turns out that that sleigh was used at the turn of the century by former King Haakon, the present king's grandfather, so quite a relic.
In the family for only about 150 years.
dusted it off, and it looks great out there.
The music performed, Venit Rex, Enter the King, written and composed by Arne Norheim.
He is the King's composer, and he's so well thought of that he even has his own cottage on the royal grounds.
That's nice work if you can get it. He is greeted by Juan Antonio Samaran of the International Olympic Committee and Gerhard Heiberg, the head of the Lillehammer Olympic Organizing Committee. Gerhard Heiberg attended school at Cal State San Jose. Knows well the ways of America.
We already talked a little bit about him. He is a workaholic. He has worked around the clock to pull this off. 2 years. He claims that he spent 70% of his time working on the Olympics and the other 70% at his other job. How does that add up?
The rest of the royal family includes the Crown Prince, Håkon Magnus, and Her Royal Highness, Princess Martha Louise. And now, God Save the King, the royal anthem of Norway. The royal anthem, with the same melody as that of Great Britain's God Save the King.
Unlike British royalty, the Norwegian royals are very down to earth. They're very approachable. It's unusual to see for us, I think. We were at something the other day, and the King showed up for the Children's Olympics in a small town just a couple miles south of Lillehammer. He had coffee and cake with the parents afterwards.
The King drives his own car around here in Norway.
Can you imagine getting stuck in traffic sitting next to him?
How you doing? This now is called a Jonsok, a wedding procession. It's a children's copy of a traditional adult wedding here in Norway. Includes a fiddler, a master of ceremonies, bridesmaids, bachelors, and headscarves, which are called married women. And there's the bride.
What you're seeing right now, these costumes are called bunads, a throwback to the everyday clothing of Norwegians dating back to the 15th century. These are family treasures, often passed on generation to generation, worth up to $3,000, $4,000 sometimes.
This reflection of the adult world by the children is a tradition that's been part of Midsummer Day celebrations in Western Norway for more than 150 years now. Midsummer Day, or St. John's Day as it is sometimes called, occurs on the 24th of June.
Following the children's procession is the adult bridal procession, and this one is from the village of Voss. And Greg, we have a famous name from American sports culture that came from Voss, Knut Rockne.
Incidentally, the last two men in this procession are guarding the beer that was made at home and brought along.
There you see, just outside the arena, the U.S. Olympic athletes getting ready to march behind the Stars and Stripes. And when we come back, we'll hear President Clinton's message of greetings, followed by the Parade of Nations. Our CBS coverage of the 17th Olympic Winter Games will continue from Lillehammer after this message and a word from your local station.
Stadium. We'll be filled with pride for these fine young men and women as they compete with the best athletes from around the world. In the days ahead, we'll be thrilled by the extraordinary achievements of these young Americans. Let's remember that these moments of excellence are the product of years and years of practice and training, and the support they've received from family and friends, neighbors and teachers. Now, as in the past, American grit and determination will help our athletes go for the gold. But more than gold and silver, the Olympics are about coming together, the world coming together for the Games, and America coming together as a nation. As the great Olympic champion Jesse Owens once said, it's a tremendous feeling when you stand there and watch your flag fly above all the others. I couldn't forget the country that brought me there. Let's wish all our athletes the best. God bless them, and God bless America.
Welcome, Greece. Welcome back to Lillehammer, where the Parade of Nations has begun, and as is traditional, it is led by Greece. A contingent of 9 athletes headed by flag bearer Thanasis Tsikiris, his 4th Olympic competition.
Greece may be the homeland of the Olympics, but did not compete in the Winter Games until 1936.
Interesting that this homeland of the Olympics has never won a medal in the Winter Games. Now comes American Samoa. Who is the flag bearer there, Andrea?
Well, Greg, in the interest of time, we call him Tia for short.
I'll take a shot at it. Fauna Tia Muanututia.
Very well done. He is, interestingly enough, a member of the Navy SEALs, only been bobsledding for, about a year.
And greeted by plenty of cheers, the United States of America. With 155 athletes, they will make up the largest contingent here in Lillehammer, led by luger Cami Myler, who is the flag bearer out of Lake Placid, New York. What tremendously diverse feelings she must have right now. You know, she's absolutely thrilled to have been selected the flag bearer, yet her thoughts are with her brother Tim, who's been battling cancer back in Albany, New York. He'll be let out of the hospital for the first time in 6 weeks today so that he can watch Cami do just this, and he'll return to the hospital tomorrow.
And here is Team USA, the hockey team. Coach Tim Taylor has put together an incredibly fast team. They've got high hopes here in Lillehammer.
Plenty of gold medal hopefuls among the group. Dan Jansen and Bonnie Blair in speed skating. Donna Weinbrecht also.
Donna Weinbrecht, the 1992 gold medalist in moguls. And what an incredible story. She blew out her knee a year ago, and she said what kept her going throughout the grueling rehab was the spirit of the Olympics, knowing that she wanted to come back and compete again, and now here she is, gold medal favorite again in 1994.
Americans smiling and waving to the crowd here. There's downhiller A.J. Kitt. He'll be racing in the downhill here tomorrow.
He had some pretty good times in the training runs.
Hello, America!
Duncan Kennedy and Wendell Succo, American lugers here as well. Also medal hopefuls along with Cami Myler. There's Bonnie Blair.
She already has 3 gold medals. She's looking to take home number 4 and number 5.
Certainly more than just Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan to the U.S. contingent. 153 other very fine athletes in Lillehammer, Norway.
Bonnie Blair brought with her about 60 friends and relatives. They're staying in homes and farms all across the Lillehammer area. A local news reporter helped them find lodging. Wrote a story about the fact that her family might not be able to afford it.
Here's Armenia. Their first participation in the Winter Games, one of 12 former Soviet Union republics here in Lillehammer, Norway.
Australia, of course, looking forward to the Summer Olympics in the year 2000. Those will take place in Sydney. Included in that group, Stephen and Danielle Carr, the Australian pairs figure skating team. Their coach told them not to march in the opening ceremony, but their coach went home, and so they're there.
Here's Belarus, the flag bearer Yevgeny Redkin, who won a gold medal in the 20K biathlon 2 years ago in Albertville. This team also sports speed skater Igor Shelizhovsky, who may pose as Dan Jansen's biggest threat in the 500 and 1,000 meter speed skating races.
And he had planned on retiring after 1992, but he was pressured to return. The country needs good sportsmen. That's what the officials said.
And here is Belgium, led by Bea Pintens, the flag bearer whose father not only participated in the Tour de France, but won one of the stages once upon a time. Figure skater Alice Sue Clays also figures prominently in the Belgian picture, Andrea.
She's skating for her grandfather's country, but she was born in Georgia, went to school at the University of Minnesota.
Well, when the Bermudans showed up, the big question was, what would they be wearing? Simon Payne is the lone athlete from Bermuda, and they are not wearing shorts.
Made the wise decision. Bosnia. Some of these athletes had to dodge sniper fire just to get here. For these athletes, these games are not about winning. It is about survival, Greg.
Andrea, when you hear that one had to use a journalist pass to escape from the country, another making his way out in a personnel carrier armored, most of these athletes will end up in refugee camps after the games are over.
The Olympic Winter Games on CBS are sponsored.
Welcome, Canada.
And Canada enjoys a warm welcome from the Norwegians. 104 athletes led by flag bearer Kurt Browning, a fine figure skater whose long program next week, Bogey on Ice, is much anticipated.
He is a four-time world champion, and this should be one of the best men's figure skating competitions in memory. You've got Browning, Victor Petrenko, Brian Boitano, both of them the last two gold medalists in figure skating. It should be spectacular.
Don't forget Elvis Stojko, who dethroned Kirk Browning recently as the Canadian figure skating champion.
Elvis, not exactly your typical figure skater. He is a black belt in karate.
The Canadian hockey team expected to be very strong once again, Andrea.
And here's Chile. Chile has never won a Winter Olympic medal. In fact, only 25 of the 66 nations here have won Winter Olympic medals. Just 3 athletes in that delegation.
And now, Chinese Taipei. Perhaps you know it as Taiwan, marching under their National Olympic Committee flag. 3 athletes in all. Another of the countries that has never claimed a Winter Olympic medal.
Denmark. Now, this may surprise you. 3 Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Norway and Sweden have won 282 medals. Denmark, none.
Early in Norwegian history, the country was under Danish dominion. Norwegians refer to that period as the 400-year night. 4 athletes in attendance from Denmark. And now the Czech Republic.
They are led by Pavel Benz, who is a cross-country skier. The Czech hockey team considered to be a contender for gold here, but they were upset today by Finland 3-1.
That game, one of 3 scheduled today, and has already taken place, Andrea, because with Håkans Hall just about 150 yards away, they were looking at a serious traffic jam with the game and opening ceremony, so they got one of the games out of the way. Here's Estonia, the flag bearer Alar Lavandi, Nordic combined competitor. Now, technically, Estonia has never won a medal in the Winter Olympics, but back in Calgary in 1988, Lavandi competed under the flag of the Soviet Union, won a bronze in the individual Nordic combined, and was rewarded by his fellow Estonians with a lavish homecoming procession, a plot of land, and a car. Not bad.
Fiji with just 1 athlete, Rusiyata Rogoyawa. He's a cross-country skier, married a Norwegian woman, also competed in the Norwegian boxing championships as a heavyweight.
His wife, Ellen, says he has a better body for boxing than he does for skiing, and maybe that's why he isn't bringing any medals home.
This is Finland. 67 athletes in this delegation, led by Marja-Liisa Kervesniemi.
Finland's greatest female athlete of all time, a cross-country skier, her 6th Olympics at age 38 years old, and she is about to tie Swedish bobsledder Karl-Erik Eriksson for most appearances in Winter Olympic history. This team also boasts ice dancer Susanna Rakamo, whose father is the mayor of Helsinki.
Here's the French delegation marching into the arena. We all have such fond memories of how we were treated by the people of the Savoie 2 years ago.
The French also have fond memories of the Albertville Games. Tourism is up. Val d'Isère and some of the nearby resorts. In most cases, tourism rose by as much as 20%. There's Surya Bonali, certainly one of the gold medal favorites in women's figure skating.
She is the European champion.
Called a gymnast on ice skates.
Also in the group, Edgar Gros-Perron. I was in teen in '92 when he won the gold medal in moguls. The fans went absolutely wild. He said he felt like he had died and been reincarnated as a French hero.
Well, another star of that day and of those Olympics is with our James Brown. JB?
We're standing here with Donna Weinbrecht, the gold medalist from the 1992 Olympics moguls, I may add. And the last time we saw you, it was a teary-eyed performance receiving the gold medal in Albertville.
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, it was such a beautiful sight, and the snow was coming down. It was all magical. It seemed like a big blur at times when it's happening to you.
Now, you have had a challenge since then, major knee surgery, but I understand that acted as a bit of inspiration. How so?
Well, after '92, I set no goals, and I was out on the ski slopes, and I knew I wanted to ski, but I didn't have that refilled desire and a passion. So when I subsequently got injured, so after the injury, you know, having something taken away that you love so much, you want it back, and I thought, well, this will be a challenge. Let's rehab and see, because I didn't want to be sitting on the couch in '94. I wanted to be here.
Might we consider this accomplishment enough just being here?
Oh, for sure. Especially on the women's side of mogul skiing, the U.S. girls have definitely been skiing great, and they pushed me, and they, you know, I had to do my best to get here.
I think you want more, and we wish you the best.
I'll try my best.
Thank you very much, Donna.
Thank you.
Welcome, Israel.
And Israel led into the arena by figure skater Misha Shmerkin.
And Greg, this is one of the best Olympic stories of these games. He went to Israel in search of religious freedom, Soviet Jew. After arriving there, he visited the Wailing Wall, and he took part in that tradition, wrote a wish on a piece of paper, put it in the wall, and the wish said, I want to take part in the Olympic Games.
A very bold wish indeed. Israel is making its very first Winter Olympic appearance here in Lillehammer.
This is Italy.
And flag bearer Deborah Compagnoni won a gold medal in the Super G at the Albertville Olympics before tearing ligaments in her knee in the giant slalom the very next day. The queen in Italy. Who's the king?
The king is Tomba. Now, he is not here yet. He is training on the Italian glaciers, even attracting a crowd there. He will be here, though, at the end of the week.
Don't forget me, in Lillehammer, Olympic game, 1994.
Not likely anyone will forget Tomba.
Not likely anyone will forget these guys, the Jamaicans. 5 athletes, all bobsledders, and all, of course, world famous now thanks to the Disney movie Cool Runnings.
This is no longer a novelty act, though. These guys really are veterans. This is their 3rd Olympic appearance.
Chris Stokes is the flag bearer. Will compete in the 4-man with his brother Dudley, the driver of the sled. And want to know how serious these guys are about their bobsledding? They've been working with an East German coach. That's serious.
That certainly is serious.
And now the contingent from Japan enters the arena.
Our hosts for the next Winter Games in Nagano in 1998.
The flag bearer is Reiichi Mikata, and he was chosen as the flag bearer because the other Japanese athletes just didn't want to tire themselves out with the weight of carrying the flag.
Also here, the 1992 Ladies Figure Skating Olympic silver medalist Midori Ito. She's at the games, but not as a skater. She's going to be announcing for Japanese television.
You want to know what a sure medal hope might be in these 94 games? It's Kenji Ogiwara, the Nordic combined sensation who led the Japanese to the gold medal in the team event 2 years ago in Albertville.
And that is the most popular sport on Japanese television during the Olympics.
67 athletes strong from Japan. And now the U.S. Virgin Islands. This team boasts Ann Abernathy, a 40-year-old female luger who is also a nightclub singer participating in her third Olympics, and that is Ann right in the middle of your screen.
They have a little bit of a funding problem. They were the first athletes to arrive in the Olympic Village because they simply had no place else to go. They got there so early they ended up eating their meals with the village staff because the food services weren't even open yet.
This is Kazakhstan, a former Soviet republic, a country that borders China, the second largest former Soviet republic after Russia.
Cross-country skier Vladimir Smirnov is the country's top medal contender, and if he wins a gold here at the medal ceremony, that'll be the first time he will have ever heard his national anthem.
King Harold of Norway says Smirnov is the biggest threat to our skiers. The People's Republic of China with 28 athletes.
Speed skater Ye Cha-bo has returned for one last run at her rival Bonnie Blair. Ye Cha-bo won China's first ever Winter Olympic medals in Albertville, finished second to Blair twice. Was so close.
Again, one of the unique aspects of these opening ceremonies, the Norwegian host children calling out the names of the individual nations in that nation's native tongue.
This is South Korea. Yoo Sun-hee, the Korean speed skater, almost completely deaf, the only skater to beat Bonnie Blair this year in the 500-meter race.
And three athletes making up the contingent from Croatia, making its second appearance in the Winter Games, a country that declared its independence in 1991, and that is Sanda Dubravcic, who lit the torch that opened the 1984 Games 10 years ago in Sarajevo.
She is now a member of the delegation. They wanted a friendly face to open the Games in '84.
We'll be back with more of the Parade of Nations in just a moment. So the team from Latvia, led by flag bearer Zintas Ikmanis, bobsledder who won the two-man bronze medal 10 years ago in Sarajevo in 1984.
He was personally involved in Latvia's struggle for independence. In Calgary in '88, he painted his sled red and white, the colors of the Latvian flag. It was a form of subtle protest.
Back in 1991, Ikmanis helped defend the Parliament building against the Red Army. Here's Liechtenstein, a tiny country of just about 62 square miles, the size of Washington, D.C.
Tiny, but they have won 9 Winter Olympic medals.
And now Lithuania, 6 athletes in all.
The first Baltic nation to declare its independence from the Soviet Union when it did so on March 11th, 1990.
And the president of Lithuania is in Norway for the Games and is in attendance here tonight at the opening ceremony.
Here's Luxembourg with just one athlete, but that is a team official marching for Mark Girardelli. He's got the best excuse for not being here. He's undergone 13 operations, says he can't even walk when he gets up in the morning. An insurance company has him listed as a semi-invalid, but he's still one of the best all-around skiers in the world.
And will be in the men's downhill tomorrow.
Here's Mexico. 4 athletes in this delegation, all alpine skiers.
The alpine skier bearing the flag is Hubertus Hohenlohe, a prince who lives in a castle in Liechtenstein, but was born in Mexico.
2 athletes representing Moldova, 1 man, 1 woman. Actually, 2 male biathletes qualified, but they could only afford to bring 1, so they chose 1 man and 1 woman for even participation in the name of Olympic spirit.
Moldova, one of those countries now independent from the USSR, making its first Olympic appearance as an independent country. successful wine industry in that country, too.
Here's Monaco and the flag bearer, Prince Albert of Monaco. He's a bobsledder, also the youngest member of the IOC.
35 years of age. In the Netherlands, Christina Aftink, a speed skater from a land where fans are known for their fanaticism about the sport of speed skating.
Thousands, tens of thousands of them will be coming here.
Here's New Zealand. Won its first and only Winter Olympic medal when Annelies Koberger won the silver 2 years ago in Albertville in the women's slalom.
They have another great story. Simon Warutane, a Maori warrior who says he's going to do a war chant up on top of the mountain to intimidate his opponents.
Poland hasn't won a medal in Winter Olympics competition since 1972, but they have Jaromir Radka, 24-year-old speed skater, and they feel he's a dark horse in the 5,000 and 10,000 meter men's competition.
He had trouble training in the heavily polluted air in Poland, felt that it hampered his performances, but this year the sports ministry gave the Polish team more money. They moved their camps out to cleaner air.
Portugal has one athlete in attendance here in Lillehammer. He is George Mendes, an alpine skier, 19 years of age, who lives in France with his parents who are Portuguese.
He's really got his sights on 1998. Will use this for Olympic experience.
Portugal, one of those countries which has never won a medal in the Winter Games. And here's Puerto Rico. 5 athletes, all bobsledders.
Not used to this kind of weather. Neither are the Norwegians, though. Unlike some of the past Winter Olympics, they didn't have to bring in any snow. They just had to ship it out.
We'll have more coming your way after this message and a word from your local station. After the United States, Russia, with 124 athletes here, ranks as the second largest contingent here in Lillehammer, and it's the largest of the former Soviet republics. And does it have names to compete here in Norway? Gordieva and Grinkov, the 1988 gold medalists. Mishkitunak and Dmitriev, the defending Olympic champions. In the figure skating pairs competition, it'll be the first time the last 2 Olympic gold medalists in pairs will go head-to-head, and they will meet tomorrow evening in the technical program.
Russia has had an awful lot of trouble finding funding for its athletes. They actually started an Olympic lottery to help out, but many of the rinks, the skating rinks, have had to shut down. They can't even afford the electricity to turn the lights on. It got so bad, at one rink, someone even stole the Zambonis.
Here is the country with perhaps the best name in Norway right now, the most serene Republic of San Marino, the world's oldest and smallest republic, 24 square miles within a little pocket in Italy.
Represented by a bobsled team led by Dino Crescentini, 46 years old. They are Americans with dual citizenship, own a construction company in Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Senegal, one athlete, Lamine Guy, 33 years of age. He established a Senegalese ski federation. He's the president, treasurer, and skier.
Slovakia, one of the newest countries to compete in the games. The U.S. hockey team will play Slovakia on Tuesday. It'll be interesting to see how far they get on emotion, Greg.
Peter Stastny leads the way. He's the flag bearer. This team was the last team to qualify for the hockey tournament, but don't be fooled by that. They're a very talented hockey team, and they will be a team to be dealt with in the tournament. Slovenia.
Yuri Kosir, one of the favorites in the slalom, carrying the flag for Slovenia.
This is a republic which gained its independence in June of 1991 with the most peaceful break-off from Yugoslavia of all the former Yugoslav republics.
The only country with snow-capped mountains on its flag, and that's appropriate since they do have some of the best young alpine skiers in the world.
Spain arrives with 13 athletes, having won 2 medals in Winter Olympic competition, and they were won by siblings at Winter Games 20 years apart. Francisco Fernandez Ochoa with the gold medal in Sapporo in the slalom, and in Albertville 2 years ago, his sister Blanca won a bronze in the same event. King Juan Carlos I is here in Lillehammer for the games with his wife Sophia and their 2 daughters.
And Great Britain brings with it one of the hottest attractions at these games, the return of Torval and Dean.
10 years ago in Sarajevo, their performance to Bolero was pure perfection. Began referring to them as their greatnesses. Here's Switzerland.
And carrying the flag for Switzerland, Gustav Vader, bobsledder commonly referred to as Darth Vader because of his steely demeanor.
1 gold medal, no silvers, 2 bronze. They had a terrible time in Albertville 2 years ago, and they arrive here in Lillehammer determined to make up for it. Queen Sonja of Norway waving and pointing, giving a wave to their neighbors, Sweden.
Another country with a strong winter sports tradition that also came up short in Albertville. Just 1 gold medal, won by that woman right there, Pernilla Wiberg. She won it in the giant slalom, and she said that King Carl Gustaf patted her on the back between her runs, got her inspired, and that enabled her to win.
Despite tremendous Winter Olympic success over the years, this country has never hosted the Winter Games, but came very close. Oostersund put in a bid for 1994, but ended up the runner-up to Lillehammer by a vote of 45 to 39.
This is South Africa with 2 athletes in its delegation. South Africa's first Winter Olympic appearance since 1960 and only its 2nd participation in the Winter Games.
South African President F.W. de Klerk and the leader of the African National Congress, Nelson Mandela, shared the 1993 Nobel Peace Prize, and they accepted it in Oslo, Norway. And Trinidad and Tobago. Leading the way, Gregory's son, age 31, driver of the 2-man bobsled. The final nations coming up.
The Olympic Winter Games on CBS are sponsored by...
Makes its entrance. Led by flag bearer Mark Kirchner for the 2nd straight Olympics. An East German carries the flag. He is a biathlete, having won a gold medal in the 10K biathlon event 2 years ago in Albertville, and a silver in the 20K.
Of course, the star of the German delegation is 2-time Olympic champion Katharina Witt. For Katharina, just making this Olympic team was a personal victory. Who could forget her Carmen performance, though, in 1988? Her jumps may not be there anymore, but she is still one of the most graceful, expressive skaters in the world.
The announcement is made for Ukraine, and that means a couple of the outstanding athletes in these Winter Games. The flag bearer is men's figure skating defending Olympic champion Viktor Petrenko, who now lives in Las Vegas.
Another figure skater in the delegation, Oksana Bayul, orphaned at age 13, came out of nowhere to win the World Championship. At 15 years old, she got a lot of help from Viktor Petrenko and his coach, adopted by them.
Speaking of young figure skaters, Hungary arrives with a contingent of 17 athletes, including 15-year-old Kristina Sacco, who is taking part in her 2nd Olympics. She competed as a 13-year-old in Albertville 2 years ago.
All 6 of Hungary's Winter Olympic medals have come in figure skating.
And very happy to be here. This is Uzbekistan, the former republic of the Soviet Union, the first to adopt its own national flag that did not have communist symbols.
And their best shot at a medal comes from this woman right here, Lena Cheryasova, determined to put her country on the map. She's a freestyle skiing aerialist, has dominated competitions this year.
The Austrians arrive with a heavy heart. Anita Wachter, the flag bearer, and of course thinking of her good friend, the late teammate Ulrike Meyer. Died in a freak skiing accident just last month, competing in a World Cup event in Germany. And now the host nation of Norway.
The flag bearer for Norway, Bjorn Daly, cross-country skier, 3 gold medals in Albertville.
These Norwegians are so excited over these games. 200,000 ticket applications alone for tomorrow's men's 5,000-meter speed skating event in Hamar. Then there is folk hero Vegard Olvang, Vegard the Viking.
Norway's most popular and beloved athlete. They even named a plane after him, Vegard the Viking.
In fact, Vegard the Viking plane carried the Olympic flame.
Another of Norway's favorites, alpine skier Kjetil André Aamodt, competing in all 5 alpine events. It is possible that he could medal in each one of them, and his father said nothing is impossible. The impossible only takes a little longer.
The Norwegians have so many contenders. Espen Bredesen, a contender for a gold medal on both the large hill and the normal hill in ski jumping. So much for the Norwegians to be proud of, so much for them to look forward to during the 16 days of this Winter Olympics competition.
There's Stina-Lisa Hattestad. She is Donna Weinbrecht's toughest competition in the moguls. She has an unusual way of training. She parachutes to get up her nerve for competitions.
You see Stina-Lisa Hattestad holding her ear. We have her hooked up.
Stina, hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hardly hear you. It's so much people crying out here.
Is there any way that you can describe what this is like for you to march into this arena?
It's a great feeling. It's just fantastic. Everybody's waving to us, and it's a really nice evening. It's snowing. It's really beautiful.
Stina, good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Coming up, the official opening of the games.
Before they could start at the winter...
The IOC, Juan Antonio Samaran.
10 years ago, we were in Sarajevo for the Olympic Games, a city then dedicated to sport, understanding, friendship, and peace. Sarajevo, whose people for over 2 years have suffered too much. I invite everyone, not only all of you here in the stadium, but everywhere around the world, may even in your own homes, to stand up for a moment's silence in memory of the city of Sarajevo.
Trostruko osvajala medalje na olimpijskim igrama, dakle
Thank you. The message of the Olympic movement is stronger than ever. Please stop fighting. Please stop killing. Drop your guns, please. The Olympic movement would like to pay a special tribute to the Norwegian royal family for their great interest in Olympism and sport. We all remember that His Majesty King Olaf V was himself a great Olympian. Today, Today, the support of Their Majesties King Harold himself and Olympic athletes and Queen Sonia has been very important in promoting the Olympic tradition, which combines sport and culture, as well as respect for the environment. Welcome the athletes of the world. Our warmest thanks go to the government and its Prime Minister and to the people of Norway for their enthusiasm and support. Thank you very much. And also to the Lillehammer Organizing Committee, to its President Gerhard Heiberg, to all his staff, and to the thousands of volunteers for their friendship, efficiency, and dedication, creating the very best sporting atmosphere. Et maintenant que le jeu commence, j'ai l'honneur d'inviter His Majesty King Harald to declare open the 17th Olympic Winter Games in Lillehammer, Norway.
King Harold V will now officially open the games in Norwegian, of course.
Jeg erklærer herved de 17. olympiske vinterleker på Lillehammer for åpnet.
So now, with those words, officially, the 17th Olympic Winter Games are underway. This is the Olympic fanfare, and it signals the arrival of the Olympic flag.
Eight Norwegian sports heroes are carrying in the flag. Included in the group, Stein Eriksen, the 1952 gold medalist in the giant slalom. Also down there, Greta Vids, the 1984 Olympic marathon silver medalist. Greta Vids is so revered here in Norway. There is a statue of her in Oslo.
Greta, well known to American sports enthusiasts, a 9-time winner of the New York Marathon.
This is such a proud moment for the Norwegians. Their Olympic spirit extends well beyond this arena. A couple of years ago, a Norwegian mother watched the tragic events in Sarajevo on television. She had nightmares about it and started something called Olympic Aid, raised $4 million to send to Sarajevo. It involved the entire country, young people, students, and Olympic athletes.
Proud moment for the 40,000 spectators on hand here. It's interesting indeed that there are 17,000 more people here tonight than makes up the population of this town of Lillehammer. As all of this takes place down on the floor of the arena, let's check in with Ed Bradley.
Greg, put simply, there is a good feeling that exists in this stadium. It's so strong, so emotional, so palpable, you can actually feel it. The camaraderie among the spectators, their support for the athletes, whether it be for the host country Norwegians, the 155-person delegation from the United States, or for that one solitary athlete I saw walking in from Senegal. The support of this crowd is so strong, so good that you can actually feel it. I think it's the first time I've ever understood what the Olympic spirit is really about, because here in Lillehammer today I can feel it. Let me ask Charles Carroll to share your thoughts with us. Charles, what has it meant to you?
My thoughts are the same as yours are, Ed. It's a very neighborly gathering. I think there are 15 flags here in this arena tonight that have never been seen at a Winter Olympics before. And I thought this largely Norwegian crowd gave the young countries an especially big cheer. Of course, the oldest Norwegians can remember when their flag was a new flag in the early years of this century. We Americans had a new flag once ourselves, so we can all share the pride of these young countries. And you'd think from the warmth on this cold night that there never had been a conflict anywhere in the world. Greg and Andrea?
There are 400 children down there. We mentioned the warmth. There is a warm feeling out here. The snow is coming down. See a couple of people jumping up and down in the cold, but it does feel very warm. The children, in fact, are warm. They have some fiber fur on those costumes.
You know, a light snow has been flying all day, and rather than dampen what is happening here, it's enhanced it. This, after all, is their weather.
I don't remember seeing snowflakes like this for a long, long time. You can see the individual flakes on your coat, on mine. They're beautiful.
The Olympic hymn being played. And will be sung by Sissel Kyrkjebø, a very popular singer in Norway, the most popular. When we come back, the lighting of the Olympic flame as our coverage of the opening ceremony continues from Lillehammer on CBS after this message and a word from your local station.
Beauty of the pairs.
Welcome back to the opening ceremony in Lillehammer, Norway. We are awaiting the arrival of the Olympic torch.
Rider Leah Klev emerging from the forest around Lyskgardsbakkene with the Olympic torch.
The Olympic flame is a symbol of joy
He passes it to Britt Pedersen-Tofte, who will then take it up the steps to the top of the large hill, where Stein Gruben awaits.
What a dramatic entrance for a torch. Remember, Stein Gruben is the replacement. He was the understudy after Figisol was injured in the dress rehearsal. So this is only the second time that he will carry the torch off the ski jump.
If you were with us earlier, you heard him tell Charles Corralt he's quite confident. Well done, Stein Gruben.
A breathtaking sight, to say the least.
Speeds of 50 miles an hour down the ramp, 60 miles an hour in the air. And he has passed the torch now to Katrine Nottingsnes, 19 years of age, from Bergen on the west coast of Norway.
She is a partially blind skier. She'll be participating in the Norwegian Paralympics this year.
And she will now pass the torch to His Royal Highness Crown Prince Håkon Magnus.
The first member of a royal family to light the Olympic flame in Winter Olympic history. "50 steps from the arena to the base of the cauldron, and then another 29 to reach the top. And what a proud moment for these Norwegians. Begun. It's official. The organizing committee probably breathing a sigh of relief that that torch went off the ski jump with no hitches. They did have some problems even before the crash of Figisol. They had some problems with the gloves that were set on fire. They had to get different gloves.
5,000 miles, 75 days, and this was the most treacherous part of the journey.
Here you see once again Stein Gruber.
Stein was outstanding, wasn't he?
He should get a gold medal for that performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, a competitor and a judge from Norway will now take the Olympic oath on behalf of all the athletes and the judges.
In the name of all competitors, I promise that we shall take part in these Olympic Games, respecting and abiding by the rules which govern them, in the true spirit of sportsmanship, for the glory of sport and the honor of our teams.
And next, Norwegian referee Kari Koring will take the oath on behalf of the officials.
I promise that we shall officiate in these Olympic Games with complete impartiality, respecting and abiding by the rules which govern them, in the true spirit of sportsmanship.
What follows now is the Norwegian national anthem. Yes, we love with fond devotion.
Now that the official Olympic protocol is behind us, our Norwegian hosts still have some delightful creative surprises up their sleeves. The artistic portion of the program, we'll have that for you in a short while. But next, we're going to check in with Jim Nance back at the International Broadcast Center for the latest Olympic news right after this.
The Olympic Winter Games on CBS
will be skating at these Olympic Games. In Oregon, Judge Patrick Gilroy agreed to a settlement between Harding and the U.S. Olympic Committee. Harding has released all legal claims against the USOC in exchange for the right to skate.
Because of the resolution of the court proceedings in Oregon today, Tanya Harding will continue to be a member of the Olympic team, and she will compete in the ladies' event in figure skating beginning on February 23rd.
While Harding has won her battle with the USOC to remain a member of the Olympic team, the legal issues remain unresolved. Meanwhile, Nancy Kerrigan practiced at 7 a.m. Saturday morning and later met 1,600 members of the international press. She declared herself both mentally and physically ready to compete. Also earlier in Lillehammer, this was the scene at the men's downhill draw, the event that takes place tomorrow.
Mo?
And here's the start list for Sunday's downhill. The top skiers are allowed to select their starting position. Luxembourg's venerable Marc Girardelli opted for the first position, which was the winning spot for Austria's Patrick Ortlieb in Albertville. American Tommy Moe, who had the fourth fastest time in today's training run, chose the 8th position. And the other American medal hopeful, A.J. Kitt, will wear bib number 30. Also, these other downhill notes, Franck Picard did not make the French team chosen today based on his showing in the training runs this week. Picard had won a bronze and a silver in the last 2 Olympic downhills. Also, it might be time for Italy's Alberto Tomba to share the spotlight back home. Countryman Pietro Vitellini goes into the downhill with the best training results this week. The top time today and the second fastest times Thursday and Friday. Even before the flame was lit, competition began with a stunner in hockey. Finland faced pre-Olympic favorite, the Czech Republic, at Hokens Hall. Here, Finland's Sami Kapanen fires home the goal that iced the victory, and the Finns celebrated a 3-1 upset. And later, the border battle between Germany and Austria's Gerhard Puschnik ties the score at 1 in the first. But Germany explodes late with 3 goals in the third as Thomas Brandl finishes a nifty passing exchange and the Germans prevail 4-3. And in the other game from Pool A, Russia, the defending world champions, knocked off Norway 5-1. Team USA takes the ice tomorrow against France, a team the U.S. beat 3 out of 4 times in pre-Olympic competition. That game will highlight our afternoon coverage. So the games are underway, and we'll send you back to Lillehammer Olympic Park for the artistic portion of the opening ceremony. Greg and Andrea after these messages.
Of the 17th Olympic Winter Games, and we hope to welcome you back to Late Night, which begins tonight after your local news. This time around, we're an hour long, and all our old bells and whistles are returning. The rock and roll highlights, Pat's home video, behind the scenes of the entire Olympic extravaganza. Tonight, Charles Corralt will check in with a look back, as only he can do, and we'll be joined by real-life downhiller. We even spoke with Tanya Harding tonight by telephone. Laughter, tears, and joy. It begins tonight, late night, here on CBS. Be there.
Along with Andrea Joyce, I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome back, everyone, to the ski jumping arena. The artistic portion of this program will introduce you to the mythical beliefs of the Norwegian people.
Popping out of the ground now are the Vettas, mythical characters rooted in ancient Nordic folk tales and sagas. I guess we know them as gnomes, pixies, trolls.
The Vetta are an integral part of what the Norwegians believe. They will not build on land until they have consulted the Vetta.
These mythical underground beings are inaugurating the ski jump right now and inaugurating the games for all of us.
They are said to be knowledgeable, wise, honest, and watch constantly over the activities of mankind.
That's because they're good Vettas as opposed to the evil Vettas. They say that if you're good to the Vetta, consult the Vetta before you build your barn, then the Vettas will be good to you. Sounds reasonable.
Much like the Mother Goose stories or Andersen's fairy tales, these Vetta make up the bulk of Norwegian fairy tales. All the children grow up learning all about them. Converging now in the middle of the arena. Andrea, you have to think something's up.
They're all dressed in the Olympic colors.
Norwegians believe if a man or woman listens to the Vetta, they will live good lives in harmony with nature, and that seems to be the theme of these Winter Games. If you think that these performers are not well protected from the elements, they are.
Emerging from the center, an egg lying on its side, the symbol of life.
And now all the Vetta meeting at the egg.
The message from the Vetta here believe that we should take better care of our environment. They're promoting world peace. We have wired up a couple of American athletes, Peekaboo Street and Fuzz Feddersen. Guys, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We're on.
How you doing?
We're doing great.
Thanks.
What do you think of this so far?
Oh, it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
All right,
Now, you're
Peekaboo, we're
at-
looking at Peekaboo's camera here now. Are you having fun being an amateur photographer, Peekaboo?
Yeah, I am. I was told not to zoom in too much here, but I want to. Okay, I'm going.
Fuzz, I know this is your third Olympics. Have you seen anything like this? Can you compare it to past opening ceremonies?
They've all been fantastic, and this is great too. You know, you get a euphoric feeling when you're in an opening ceremony.
Euphoria, I know, is what Peekaboo has talked about, anticipating this trip here. Who do you see around you, Peekaboo?
Who do I see? I have Heidi Volker on my left, Carrie Scheinberg on my right. 8. You want me to shoot him? All right.
Sure.
Coming over here, we got Scheinberg right here, AJ Kitt next to her. And on my other side, Heidi Volker and Casey Puckett next to her. And then I have Fuzz behind me.
What a well-mannered group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuzz, what do you think about what's happening out in the center of the arena?
I'm not sure exactly what's going on out there, but it's definitely entertaining.
Wow. There's my house. No.
Fuzz, Peekaboo, thanks very much. We'll see you. Enjoy yourselves the next 2 weeks. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very
Bye.
much.
I think the U.S. athletes were a little mesmerized by the artistic portion of the program.
I am too. This is quite a production. These games to be known as the environmental games. Combine that with the pledges and requests for worldwide peace, you get an idea of what the Norwegians and these Winter Games are all about.
And there is the dove symbolizing peace. Could not have ordered up a better night for this ceremony. Helium balloons
in the shape of doves.
They originally had planned on using real doves, but animal rights groups were a little concerned they might freeze on their way back home, so they've decided to use balloons.
I think it makes the point very well. Outstanding program.
The 40,000 people in this arena have been standing for the entire evening for this, the finale.
Norwegians have opened these games with a bang, and we'll be back after this message and a word from your local station.
For sharing this time with us.
After an outstanding performance, and I know that all of the anticipation has been well worth the wait.
It was really something, you know, all the turmoil in the world, and for just a short time you're here, and you see the best in humanity. You feel this solidarity and this friendship, and like you really are a member of a world community, knowing that you have a bond with all of these people, because with the exception of a couple of reindeer, everybody in this place wanted to be here and no place else tonight.
I'm glad you didn't forget the reindeer. Whom better to put this opening ceremony spectacle in its right and proper perspective than our own Charles Correll. Charles?
It was all so clean and cold and pure and white. And this whole eventful evening, the reindeer and the sleighs and the horses, Steingruben nailing that jump with the torch, and the oath and the anthems and fiddlers and dancers and children singing, has done a wonderful thing for me. It's made me feel like smiling. And for these blessed 2 hours, it has also put the whole business of the Harding-Carrigan affair completely out of my mind. There really is an Olympic message, as Ed Bradley was saying earlier, and it is a message of peace and brotherhood and celebration. And we've been so wrapped up in the tabloid headlines and the legalisms and speculation about Tonya Harding that we'd almost forgotten about the joy of 2,000 other athletes just being able to be here in the snow of Norway. So this evening, the sight of these earnest young people marching in, smiling and waving, and the moving formalities and all the innocent fun of this evening was sort of like stepping from an uncomfortable, hot, muggy room into the cold, clean air. It was awfully good for me. It was probably good for us all. And now it's snowing again in Lillehammer.
Charles, thank you very much. With that, we will wrap up and say that tomorrow night our Olympic primetime coverage continues here on CBS at 8 Eastern. You will see the start of the pairs figure skating competition and the men's downhill.
And now, stay tuned for your local news, followed by Olympic Late Night. Pat O'Brien will take you for a behind-the-scenes look at tonight's opening ceremony, plus his usual assortment of late-night surprises.
So until tomorrow, for Andrea and for all of us here at CBS, we hope you have enjoyed our coverage of the opening ceremony. We look forward to bringing you 2 weeks of outstanding Olympic competition. Good night, everyone. Their charm and their devotion to the Olympic ideal. In the true spirit of the Games, Norway has cheered for its own and for others, reminding us all that our heroes may not always conquer, but will forever try. We've been reminded, too, that our heroes need not skate the fastest, fly the farthest, nor push the hardest to be heroes. There is grandeur simply in the attempt to recapture past triumphs, to prevail after years of persistence, and to compete purely for the joy of competing. We are moved by the winners and by those who tried. We will remember the little girl who realizes a dream and the one who doesn't. Somewhere between these sweeping emotions, we realize that the greatest victories are not about winning a medal, but the effort that goes into an Olympic dream. And while even the greatest moments are fleeting, we must always remember the importance of playing games, and what games they were.
final day of the 17th Olympic Winter Games, we pay tribute to a people, a place, and a time, to the glory of Lillehammer.
The Lillehammer, the ski jumping arena at Lillehammer Olympic Park, where 15 days ago these Olympic Winter Games began, and where in a short matter of time they will draw to their conclusion. Good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to CBS's continuing coverage of the 17th Olympic Winter Games. Coming up later, the moving closing ceremony, at which time the athletes will return to this arena where it all started. The Olympic flag will be lowered, and this Olympic flame, which has burned brightly above Lillehammer for these past 2 weeks of competition, will be extinguished. The Norwegians have prepared quite a spectacle, with singing and dancing and Nordic folklore. And with more on tonight's closing ceremony, let's check in with Andrea Joyce. Andrea?
Greg, aside from the athletes, nearly 1,000 people will be participating in tonight's closing ceremony. Most of them will be involved in the artistic portion of the program, and that will play out just like a Norwegian fairy tale. And just like our fairy tales, there are good guys and there are bad guys. These are the good guys. These are the good Vette. Describe for me, please, what a good Vette is.
It's some kind of a small people living under the ground, and he's very curious. And sometimes he comes up and looking at people, and he's very kind person. Yeah.
Now, is it true if I'm nice to the good Vette that I will be rewarded with wealth and happiness?
Yeah, that's right.
It's very simple. I like that. Now, a lot of evil Vette will be out there tonight. Are you guys worried? No. It's a big showdown with the evil Vette. And trust me, Greg, when you see these trolls, you have never seen trolls like this before.
How can we not look forward to that? Andrea, thank you. And we will look forward to enjoying the artistry and imagination that awaits us, along with the formal Olympic protocol. Meanwhile, day 16 featured some gold medal competition, highlighted by the men's slalom. Alberto Tomba's final shot at a medal on the frozen slopes of Norway. Also ahead, we'll reprise some of the great moments of the Olympic figure skating competition. My colleague Jim Nance is back at the International Broadcast Center with those stories and the rest of the news of this final day of Olympic activity. We'll join him when our coverage of the closing ceremony continues from Lillehammer here on CBS.
Bonnie Blair was expected to win the 500-meter race, and she did. And then she was expected to capture the 1,000, and she did. And she nearly won another medal in the 1,500, finishing fourth, fractions from a bronze. Five gold medals. With that, you call it an Olympic career, and Bonnie did. That leads us to one more American, and the tale of Dan Jansen became a story for the ages. No one could have foreseen the events that led to Jansen becoming the symbol of human spirit in not only this venue, but in the entire Olympics. Personal tragedy and failures on the ice were intertwined, and they produced a tragic hero competing for that one last chance at Olympic glory. Dan Jansen had personified what misfortune and falling short was all about. In his first race, the 500 meters, the script called for Jansen to capture a medal, gold probably, a world record possibly. But in any event, Dan Jansen's long Olympic nightmare would be over. It didn't happen that way. Jansen failed in the race he was supposed to win. Now he had one last opportunity in a race he likely wouldn't win. But first place was not the objective. Capturing a medal was. Third place, a bronze. That would do it. But why would this man, who appeared destined to be known as the best speed skater never to have won an Olympic medal, do it now? Why? In less than 90 seconds, charging on ice, carving through turns, Dan Jansen exorcised all the gremlins of the past. Dan Jansen, with no races left in his Olympic life, had finally won that elusive medal. Not a bronze, not a silver, but pure gold, gilt-edged in a world record.
Then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you.
So as we look back, it was personalities that ultimately provided the Viking ship setting with indelible.
As Dick mentioned, Johan Olav
It's my second Olympics, and just being part of it is the main thing. And you know, being part of the march and being part of the whole experience is just amazing.
Your second Olympics, only 21 years of age, you won a silver medal. Do you realize how blessed you are?
Well, I'm pretty happy. You know, I had a shot at the gold. Some people said, you know, darn, you didn't get it. But I'm thinking to myself, well, I brought home a silver medal for Canada. And I mean, like, not everyone can go to the Olympics. Not everyone can get a medal at the Olympic Games. And I'm just proud of my accomplishments and on to bigger and better things.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
All right, James, thank you. Coming up next, Vern Lundquist looks back at the Olympic figure skating competition when we return to Lillehammer.
Won the ladies' gold medal at the 1994 Olympic Games. To Norway, and at the age of 16 enchanted the world. Viktor Petrenko, Katya Gordieva, Sergei Grinkov applauding Oksana Bayur.
She showed she had nerves of steel on the inside, and on the outside her limbs were as light and...
We try not to sing songs about ourselves, but this memory is for our colleague Scott Hamilton, who couldn't be with us this evening. 2 nights ago, as we all watched the ladies' final, his father Ernie died after a long illness. And Scott worked that show before flying home. And we'll hold to that memory as a part of what happened at these games.
Som Gud har skapt och gjort.
In an old house high above Sognefjord, Judith Vestreim sang us a song of Norway. As I stand here on a height looking out over all the might and beauty of this land's sweet wrinkled face, my heart is humble and grateful for God's grace. We know what she means. We too have been humbled by the sight of the snowfields high above the tree line and the mighty glacier-sculpted chasms. We have been here more than a year, some of us from CBS, and Norway's granite majesty has entered into us now too, for good, forever. Nowhere else on Earth, we have found, does human habitation reach so far north as in Norway, or cling so stubbornly to the edges of the cliffs and the fringes of the land. They say people are the same the world over. I think these people are not quite the same.
Det betyr mer og mer naturen for meg, og for...
We are closer to nature on the fjord, said Sigurd Nedberg, surveying his lonely high meadow. There are not a lot of people to talk to, so we read a lot and do a lot of thinking. People develop a sense of freedom in places like this. Change comes to the fjord, but more slowly, I'd say, than we are used to change. Svein Henjesand makes fjord boats by hand, as his father did, as his grandfather did. The same boats that have been built this same way in this same place since at least the year 900. There's no money in it, he says, but it keeps you out of trouble. And the boats turn out quite well. How can impatient Americans not admire the patience and craftsmanship of 1,000 years? How can we not admire the single sturdy oarsman on the mile-deep fjord? The single skier certain of his skill descending the sunlit slope. These people, and their emblem and their land have won us. Well, time for us to take our leave. We'll be back someday. I, for one, am still wrestling with a grateful question about Norway. How can a place so unfamiliar have felt so much like home?
That's beautiful. Charles, thank you. And now it's good.
Welcome back to Lillehammer Olympic Park, where we are moments away from the start of the closing ceremony. The crowd of approximately 40,000 has been streaming in on this cold, crisp Norwegian evening.
And Greg, it seems as if everyone here periodically glances up to the cauldron to make sure the Olympic flame is still burning. We've become a little attached to the flame, and I think I can speak for a lot of the folks out here when I say there's a certain reluctance to see it go. But of course, it will be extinguished toward the conclusion of tonight's ceremony.
Andrea, right now the athletes are gathering outside the arena. Let's check in with our reporters who are with them.
James Brown standing here with Dan Jansen, and I guess the question is, will the smile ever leave the face now?
Not for a long time, James. This is great.
Put it all in perspective now. I know you've been peppered with all kinds of questions, but has it settled in?
Yeah, it's starting to now. It's been a week now or so since the race, and the reaction around here has been incredible, and I've heard at home it's been probably even more so. I'm looking forward to going home, but it's starting to settle in, you know, what it was and what I did, and I'm just still real happy about it.
And finally, the lesson in it all, Dan, is?
Well, I guess the biggest lesson is just, you know, keep pushing. You know, if you believe in yourself, don't give up. There's always time to keep trying, so keep going.
Congratulations.
All right, thanks.
I'm Susan Spencer. I'm here with Jane Torval and Christopher Dean, who won the bronze in ice dancing. A lot of people were very disappointed in that, thought you should have had the gold. We're on our way to the closing ceremonies. Do you feel like this sort of closes the circle for you?
Well, we wanted to take part in it because, you know, it brings the whole thing to an end, and you know, we actually had a good competition as far as our performance went, so we were pleased with that at least.
I don't think many people would dispute that. Do you feel there's a sense of finality to this now?
Well, for us, I think this must probably be our last Olympics now. We didn't even think we were going to be here, let's say, 10 years ago, but to be part of it has been wonderful and great, and we've enjoyed the experience once again.
In retrospect, are you glad that you came back and gave it a shot?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you have to. We stood up, we put ourselves on the line, and we think that we did a pretty good job at the end of the day, and the support that we got from around the world, and particularly America. We've had telegrams this deep from all over America, and we were just so, it's been so wonderful for us to have that reaction.
No regrets either that you came back?
No, because as Chris said, the final performance that we gave made it all worthwhile.
Okay, thank you both very much.
Thanks
Congratulations.
Very much. Okay.
The Olympic athletes are preparing to enter the arena, not nation by nation as they did in the opening ceremony, but as one Olympic family. And we'll be back for the start of the athletes' parade when we return to Lillehammer right after this.
Of the 17th Olympic Winter Games at Lillehammer, Norway.
And you've come back to join us just in time for the athletes who will enter following the flags. About 1,800 of them still here. Some have departed after their competition, but most have remained for this closing ceremony, which is always a treat for viewer and participant alike.
These are the placard bearers coming in first in the traditional Norwegian clothing, the bunads.
We talked about those in the opening ceremony. They can get quite expensive and are really highly thought of in the Norwegian family.
Up to $3,000 for some of these outfits.
Look from on high, and now the flag bearers. Selected by the team captains from all the other sports come in, and unlike opening ceremony, they are in no particular order. The athletes, instead of coming in nation by nation, will come in behind the flags as one group. There's Dan Jansen. Finally got his gold medal in the 1,000-meter speed skating.
And what an honor for him to carry the flag. You know, before that final Olympic race in the 1,000 meters, Jansen said, "I don't want to be remembered for what didn't happen." And isn't it nice that everyone will remember that glorious moment when he won the gold?
And now the athletes come in, as we said, in no special order. There's Bachulun Badorgo, the only athlete from Mongolia. His is a strange story, Andrea.
Well, it sure is. He didn't have a qualifying time for the short track speed skating competition, so he traveled 8 days, went all the way back to Mongolia, got there, found out some of the faster skaters had dropped out, so he headed back the other way. He shows up at the Olympics. His Olympic experience is over, though, after 1 minute and 40 seconds when he was eliminated in the first round. But I'll bet he was glad he was here anyway.
You might as well stay for closing ceremony, too.
There's the Russian team. Despite economic hardships back home, they did extremely well here. They won 11 gold medals.
And now some of the Americans interspersed. There's Ryan Heckman, just 19 years old, and he competed in his second Olympics here.
Donna Weinbrecht, 7th place in the moguls, unable to defend her gold medal from 1992. Said she might have peaked a little bit too early this season. An incredible comeback, though, off of that knee injury from a year ago.
Many doubted that she could make it. There's Wendell Suko, U.S. luger who finished 5th. The United States still has not won an Olympic medal in luge, but he came awfully close.
Johan Olav Koss, truly a Norwegian hero. Koss became the first speed skater ever to set 3 world records in a Winter Olympics. They wanted to build a statue of him at the Viking ship, but he asked instead that the money be spent on Olympic aid, a charity helping people in Sarajevo.
Speaking of skaters, there's Stephen Cousins of Great Britain. Good outing at these Winter Olympics. The Norwegians waving their flags, a sight that we have become very familiar with.
As you pointed out, Greg, the closing ceremony is much different from the opening ceremony, a little looser.
I think it's a lot looser. There's Kathy Turner. Short track speed skating, won a gold medal here, repeating from 2 years ago in Albertville, and is equipped with some of our equipment.
This is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. Wow. I wonder where my mom is. Hey. Wow, this is neat. Oh, yeah.
Kathy. Kathy, it's Andrea Joyce. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry?
Kathy, it's Andrea Joyce. Can you hear me?
Kind of.
You look like you have a bird's eye view.
Wow, this is really neat. There are so many people, and they're not all white this time.
Those who were with us at opening ceremony know that everyone was dressed in white cloaks, and it is quite a bit different from 16 days ago.
And here are the Canadians. That's Jean-Luc Brassard, gold in the moguls. Lloyd Eisler, bronze medal in the pairs with Elizabeth Brasseur.
And what a performance they put on in the special performance last night, too. Let's take time out here. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local station.
Norway, the athletes continue to file into the ski jumping arena for the closing ceremony. There's Elvis Stoico, the silver medalist in figure skating, lost the gold to Alexei Urmanov by just one judge.
Skater who's going to make his presence felt a long time. There's Kurt Browning, the four-time world champion who just has not been fortunate in Olympic competition. Bonnie Blair, American speed skater, has some of our equipment. Let's check in with her.
Bonnie, it's Andrea Joyce. How you doing down there?
I'm doing all right.
Now, you have been to a couple of these before. What's this feeling like for you tonight down there?
Well, so far we've been having a great time. You get to kind of march in with all the different countries, although the Americans are all kind of hanging out together, but we just had a great time walking in, and it's a great atmosphere. People are going nuts here in the stadium.
Your fourth Olympics. What's the lasting impression you'll take home from Norway from these games, other than going home with a couple of gold medals?
Well, yeah, obviously that's been real exciting for me, but I think probably besides myself and what I had done, I think probably the most exciting thing for me was watching Dan Jansen win the 1,000 meters. And also our short track skaters skated extremely well here during the Olympics.
What about Norway, though? Do you have a new feeling about Norway?
Well, I've always enjoyed the country of Norway, but I mean, the people here have been, I think, have been outstanding. They've surpassed what I expected. They're here. They rooted for everybody in all the events. I guess like the cross-country places, they had like hundreds of thousands of people out there, and I mean that's just fantastic especially for the athletes to compete in atmospheres like that.
Well, I know you're not going home because you've got the rest of the World Cup tour ahead, so good luck the rest of the season.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
Boy, Bonnie has the attitude and atmosphere of this country of Norway exactly right. You know, we heard her reference Dan Jansen, Andrea, and it continues to amaze me. He is the athlete that is so universally supported, not only by fans, but by his so-called competitors, and yet every single one of them was pulling for Dan Jansen to finally succeed, and they were all overjoyed when he won his gold medal here this year.
And Bonnie Blair was one of those fans. She said that she watched his gold medal race from the privacy of her room, and when he stood atop the podium for the national anthem, Blair stood in her room with tears streaming down her face. She saluted her longtime friend and teammate. It was amazing the amount of support he had.
And the party continues. And there's DJ. Looks like he's having a good time as the flag bearer tonight for the United States. There's the view from Bonnie Blair's camera. He has a future in this business, huh? Way to go, Bonnie.
There's Johan Olof Koss again, Norway's fabulous speed skater, winner of 3 gold medals here.
That's French figure skater Surya Bonali, who finished 4th in the competition and just put on another outstanding exhibition in the special performance. There's Amesha Hunyadi, the Austrian speed skater who cried openly on the podium as she accepted her gold medal.
Her victory lap, she did pirouettes and camels and spins. She used to be a figure skater. It looks like she's almost ready to do it again.
With her, Claudia Pechstein of Germany, who upset Gunda Niemann in the 5,000 meters event for the women. These have been outstanding games, and maybe more so for Norway than any other country, Andrea.
Well, they led the way with 26 medals, and they were almost embarrassed by their success. At one point, the king said, maybe this is too much. Maybe we're not being polite to our visitors.
You can't be more polite than the Norwegians have been, incidentally. More than 1,200,000 tickets have been sold for these Winter Games. That is 88% of all the seating capacity, and that sets an Olympic record. They have done very well indeed.
So many Norwegians came to Lillehammer to watch the events. There wasn't enough housing to accommodate everyone, so 3 people stayed, guess where? In jail. They spent last Wednesday night in jail. No crime. They just needed a place to stay.
Any warm bed is a good one. We'll take a time out and come right back.
CBS's broadcast of the 17th Olympic Winter Games.
The mayor of Nagano, Japan, president of the IOC, the head of the local organizing committee, and the mayor of Lillehammer.
Norwegian
keeping with tradition, we will first hear the Greek national anthem, Greece, the birthplace of the Olympics.
Tradition calls for. Yes, we love with fond devotion the national anthem of the host country, Norway.
Future now, the national anthem of Japan, Nagano, Japan, the site of the next Olympic Winter Games in 1998. City of about 350,000 people nestled in the mountains about 3 hours northeast of Tokyo.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of Lillehammer, Audun Tron, will now hand over the Olympic flag to President of the International Olympic Committee, Juan Antonio Samaranch, who will pass on the Olympic flag to the mayor of Nagano, Mr. Tasuku Tsukada.
This is a tradition that actually began at the 1952 Oslo Games, the Oslo Flag Exchange.
And in the city of Nagano, very proud and happy people indeed. Successfully outbid Salt Lake City, Utah for the rights to the 1998 Games, and the mayor of Nagano, Tasuku Tsukada. Proud moment for him indeed.
MCI called, and they want friends and family.
Entering the arena are part of an environmental expedition that will begin tonight. A 6-member team will reach Nagano in 18 months after traveling nearly 10,000 miles.
That'll be without the aid of any motorized vehicles at all. These, of course, have been the environmental Olympics, and in keeping with that theme, they don't want to upset the landscape of Siberia, so their sole means of transportation are skis, dog teams, and a sailboat. Geir Randby will lead the expedition.
And to the environmental expedition, we say, have a safe trip to Nagano. Lykke til på ferden.
This is Norway's way of passing on a message to the organizers of the next Olympics in Japan to be kind to the environment as they plan the games.
And now the IOC president, Juan Antonio Samaran.
10 years ago, we were in Sarajevo. After many horrors, the situation now seems to be improving. Let us hope that this truce, to which, in our very limited way, we may have contributed, let us hope that this truce will turn into lasting peace for us and also for our children. To you, the people of Norway, it is my great honor to say that you are the real winners of these Magic Games. You have presented to the entire world the best Olympic Winter Games ever. Et maintenant, je vais conclure conformément à la charte olympique. I declare the 17th Olympic Winter Games in Lillehammer closed. In accordance with our tradition, I call upon the youth of the world to assemble 4 years from now, in 1998, in Nagano, Japan, to celebrate with us the 18th Olympic Winter Games. Tusen tack, Lillehammer. Tusen tack och farväl Norge.
Tusen tack, Lillehammer. 1,000 thanks to the people of Lillehammer.
The Norwegian fans are singing, "We have won, we have won. The victory is ours." And Greg, that's a familiar song. We've heard it over and over at these games. 26 medals for Norway.
This ceremony is strictly scripted, too. That is absolutely an impromptu reaction by the people here.
They also had a very warm reaction to Juan Antonio Samaran. He made a passionate plea the opening ceremony for the fighting to stop in Sarajevo and showed a real human side to the folks here.
There is no question his popularity has skyrocketed, certainly since the beginning of these games. Bugle sounding now as the Olympic flag is lowered and is to be taken out of the arena by 8 former Norwegian athletes. Between them have 9 gold medals in Olympic competition. Olympic rings showing outside of the arena. Right now, let's check in with our colleague James Brown, who is with figure skater Katarina Witt. JB?
Katarina, you've talked about how special this Olympics is to you. Why more so this one than the previous ones?
Because I think I enjoyed it much more. I'm older and I know how important this is to be at the Olympics, and it was a big dream for me to be here again, and it came true. I was here and I just enjoyed the whole thing, and it was really amazing for me. And now for the closing ceremony, this is my 3rd Olympics, but my first outdoor closing ceremony, so it's really excited for me.
Even though it's cold, you're enjoying it?
It's freezing, but I'm enjoying it. We had a long walk here, but we had a lot of fun, so it's been really fun.
She's right. It's freezing here, but it is fun.
It is. She came expecting no medals, said it was a victory just to be here. And we will be back with more from Lillehammer after this message and a word from your local station.
Jumping stadium as the Olympic flag is carried out. Sissel Kyrkjebø will sing the Olympic hymn. She's just 24 years old, Norway's most popular singer.
Incredible voice. Sissel Kyrkjebø. At the time she was 19 years old, she had sold 1 million records, which is amazing considering the population of the country of Norway is just over 4 million. Here come your friends, Andrea.
Well, we did talk about the Good Vette a little earlier in the evening. And as we pointed out, this performance will offer a glimpse into Norway's ancient fairy tales. And they are a little bit like our Mother Goose stories. These are, again, the Good Vette.
If you weren't with us for opening ceremony when we were first introduced to the Good Vette, they're said to be small humanoid creatures living underground in rocks, barns, and outhouses, and are considered knowledgeable and wise and honest, but you have to treat them right.
And if you do treat them right, they will treat you right as well. They'll reward you with wealth and happiness.
It's only right.
The creative director for the closing ceremony as well as for the opening ceremony is a man by the name of Bentine Bardson, Norway's most respected theater director, born in Brooklyn.
And on the floor of the arena, the Good Vette have control for the moment.
CBS's broadcast of the 17th Olympic Winter Games.
Andrea Joyce at the ski jumping arena, closing ceremony. The Good Vette pretty much having a good old time on the arena floor.
But not for long, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's the sound you just don't want to hear if you're a good veteran. There are two sides to Norwegian folklore, the good vetter and the evil vetter. The evil vetter did not make an appearance in opening ceremony, but here they are.
The theme in this program tonight, again, the struggle between good and evil. Henrik Ibsen, the world-renowned playwright, steeped himself in these tales. His great tragic drama, Peer Gynt, drew on the language and the content of both fairy tale and legend.
These evil vetter come from everywhere. From underground, they come down the ski slopes. Norwegian folklore has them living in dark ponds, waterfalls, forests, and mountains.
They're clever, they're dangerous, and if you don't look out, they can bring you much misfortune.
They're also dressed just a little differently than everybody else. And perhaps the best known of the evil vetter are the trolls. And there are three pretty good-sized ones emerging from the arena floor.
We've heard a lot about trolls since we've been in Norway. They say that up by the Hunderfossen, the bobsled and luge track, that the forest there is inhabited by trolls.
You know that you can't go anywhere in Lillehammer without seeing books about trolls and statues and T-shirts.
Common to all of the evil vetter, they do not like sunlight. They cannot tolerate it. So there you have the good vetter.
Who have massed on the hill.
Shining the light on the evil vetter.
One thing we know, sunlight causes a troll to explode. And here come the good guys. The evil vetter will retreat and live to fight another day. All is goodness and light on the floor of the arena once again.
Farewell. Champion salutes this Olympic moment of the day. It is an honor conferred upon you by your teammates. And for the closing ceremony of these Lillehammer Games, Team USA voted for Dan Jansen, bringing to a fitting close the Olympic career of this gold medalist.
The portion of tonight's closing ceremony continues. We already witnessed the good vetter triumph over the evil vetter. These are the spirits who have been imprisoned in the mountain. They're all dressed in white.
Music with an eerie quality to it, composed by Arne Nordheim. Some of his music we heard in opening ceremony as well. He is this country's leading contemporary composer and really has it quite well. Lives in an honorary artist's residence on the palace grounds in Oslo.
You get those kind of privileges when you're the king's composer.
repeating that there are 40,000 people on hand here. That's 17,000 more than the total population of the town of Lillehammer.
Norway has been a terrific host. They have cheered all of the victors here in these 17th Olympic Winter Games. In fact, the only boos I think we heard in the entire 16 days was when Juan Antonio Samaranch said the games are closed.
Look at the Olympic flame ablaze here in Lillehammer, and so are we in the final moments. So after burning brightly for 16 days and nights, the Olympic flame for the Winter Games is extinguished for another 4 years. Each member of the audience given a pocket flashlight upon their arrival here at the stadium this evening. Very special flashlight indeed. The words "Remember Sarajevo" are inscribed upon each one.
The Olympic flame here at Lillehammer has been extinguished. But we know this flame will never die. It will burn forever in different places around the world. Next time we will meet again in Atlanta in 1996 and in Nagano in 1998. In the meantime, let us all compete in efforts for peace and protection of all life on our wonderful planet.
This is the Nagano segment now of the artistic portion of the program. The snow spirit appears.
And in Nagano, you see the people there looking on and applauding and participating. They're into this, Andrea, and it's still 4 years away.
They've waited a long time. They made a bid for the games, to host the games in 1972, lost out to Sapporo. So they'll be ready in 98. These helium-filled balloons are actually flower petals. If you look closer, though, you will see that they each represent a Winter Olympic sport.
They're also being carried in by both Norwegian and Japanese dancers. And the Japanese are dressed in outfits similar to those worn by ancient Japanese warriors. We've gone from traditional Norwegian music over the last 2 weeks now to traditional folk music from Japan.
And as the petals come together, they form the snow flower. That is the emblem of the Nagano Olympics. And with the blooming of the snowflower, the message, see you in Nagano, 1998.
And the fireworks, which so vividly marked opening ceremony, make their reappearance. Oh, what a beautiful shot over the stadium arena.
You thought it was over when the flame went out.
Bonnie Blair likes it.
Music for this segment composed by Edvard Grieg, Norway's most well-known composer in the United States.
Heads for the heavens. The athletes begin to leave the arena. We'll take time out and come back with a final word or two in just a moment.
The father of the modern Olympics once said, the best way to feel the Olympic spirit is to be joyous. I think the Norwegian people took his advice. They provided us with the perfect backdrop for 16 days of joyous celebration. It's something I won't soon forget.
It's been fun, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, while looking for a way to capture the essence of our feelings tonight, we found these passages, appropriately enough, in a selection from the ancient Viking scriptures entitled Words of the High One. These words, written here some 1,200 years ago, are as follows. Go you must. No guest shall stay long in one place forever. Love will be lost if you sit too long at a friend's fire. The Olympic fire, cared for so well by our Lillehammer hosts, has warmed us these past 16 days, and the Norwegian people have been great friends and teachers. And so we say, tusen takk, thank you. But for us, it is time to go. And to the men and women of CBS who have combined their talents to broadcast these winter games, we offer our thanks as well. You will see their names pass before you in a moment. For all of them, and for Andrea Joyce, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thank you for joining us. For one last time, good night from Lillehammer, Norway.
I invite everyone to stand up for a moment's silence in memory of the city of Sarajevo.
This is
Olympics. The people of Norway stepped up to the plate and served us home run after home run this February, and provided us with vistas and goosebumps that we will long remember. So we all go home with a little more Norwegian in us, a bigger smile, and freeze frames of new friends, our Northern Lights. Have been great. We had a team meeting before tonight's program, and we decided we're not holding anything back. We're going for the gold, and with that in mind, Mitch and his gang stormed into Edit Room 8 like men and women on a mission. Likewise, Pat's home video tonight takes no prisoners. And when we come back here, Gene Siskel will do what he does best, criticize us. Bill Geist will do what he does worst, go shopping. And many voices, many languages will pick the very best calls of the game, so stay with us as Late Night rolls on one last time from Lillehammer.
CBS's broadcast of the 17th.
Been quite the place this week to spend money. And joining us now once again is our good friend and noted party animal, Bill Geist. Last night he became the George Plimpton of figure skating, and today he almost single-handedly put the store back in Storgata.
I
Bill,
was shopping. I got you a gift since you have the fire and they're locking up and closing down and tearing down the cafeteria.
Some people have called us hot dogs here. This is taking it to the next level. Thank you. We'll get to those in a minute. So you were shopping, and what was it like out there today?
It was like short track skating. It's tough out there.
In the waning hours of these Olympics, fans seem to be turning their attention to something other than the games themselves. This is the final day of competition at the Olympics, and the Americans here in Lillehammer are putting forth all their efforts into a final push. Not for medals, for souvenirs.
My mama told me you better shop around. Oh, yeah,
This is the Olympic shopping venue, the Storgata, drawing the largest crowds these days for sport shopping.
How's business?
Yeah, very good. It's rough out there. And a little strange sometimes. It's a place where excited fans go as wild over a new shipment of T-shirts as they do over Johan Koss and Bonnie Blair.
You're buying nice stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you buying nice stuff for?
Me. I'm buying the junk for relatives.
They're after the usual stuff.
What is that?
I don't know what they call it.
It's something to sit on.
Or stand on.
And the more unusual.
It could be kind of a frisbee thing, too.
Everybody needs to have the Norwegian ski troll when they go skiing back in upstate New York.
Many fans have been in Norway for weeks, and they know they'd better be bearing gifts when they get home.
What would happen if you came home without any souvenirs?
Death.
What to buy? A good rule of thumb in souvenir shopping is if you wouldn't buy it in the Poconos, why buy it here? Clocks on rocks, for example. Decorative thermometers. Furry hand puppets.
Oh, they're nice and warm, too. Do you have left and right hand? Are they puppets or gloves? They're puppets. I don't know if there's a puppet or a glove. Keep your hands warm.
Some offerings seemed a little inappropriate.
Nice. Norwegian pillow.
Most shoppers were in the market for something distinctive, something Norwegian.
We have our eye on a little wood carving of a Viking.
Yeah?
And that's going to be on our bar for a long time.
But not too Norwegian.
What's this?
This is reindeer.
Reindeer skin? Well, I miss my cat. I have a cat at home, and so this is good.
Kristen and Hoken dolls remain plentiful, and they've been marked down to half price. There are trolls.
The trolls don't go to friends now.
They go to others.
They go to other people.
Oslo 52.
Norwegian hats are certainly distinctive enough.
Is this my size?
Sell lots of them.
How much are they?
Nothing says Norway quite like a fish.
Norwegian party in a box. They look like they're having fun eating salmon.
In the closing moments of the Olympics, a degree of desperation sets in.
You know, the paperclip was invented in Norway. Do you think these would make a nice gift to take home to someone in America from Norway?
No. Cod liver oil. That's a Norwegian invention.
Maybe lemon flavor.
Or how about a commemorative Lillehammer coat hanger? or cheese slicer.
What is it?
Oh, it's a reindeer.
Reindeer sausage?
Yes.
Most Norwegian.
Norwegians say moose-related gifts are always well received.
It's moose dropping.
Moose dropping?
Yes.
Moose dropping earrings?
Yes.
The other Olympic souvenir I'm taking home's Olympic cold from Norway.
Aren't you going to take something kind of Norwegian back?
Well, I could take the guy I met in the bar last night home. That would be kind of fun.
It's pretty good.
Pat, I did bring you back some of the moose-related earrings, and you might tell your wife Linda to wear a little perfume. So.
I would think so. I'll guarantee I'm not walking in with these from Norway. I'm going to throw it to commercial. Bill, thanks for the dogs. Here they are.
Oh, thanks.
Here's a knife.
Yeah.
Open them up. Here's a rake.
Okay.
Put one for each member of our crew on here. And while you're doing that, I can tell you that coming up, the very best of our late-night rock and roll highlights after a commercial and a word from your very own local station. Paul Correa of Canada is stopped by Tommy Salo, and the Swedes win their first Olympic gold in hockey ever, defeating Canada 3-2, and that was some thriller, folks. That's what it's about. For 16 days, Edit Room 8 at the International Broadcast Center was the focal point for Mitch and the gang. You know, we think their music and effects soared onto our air like Espen the Eagle. Well, tonight, though, there are no judges, no marks. Just sit back and enjoy a special exhibition performance as we crank up the volume one more time and roll the best of 2 weeks of the Olympic rock and roll highlights.
Tonight's rock and roll highlights are sponsored by Diet Coke. This is refreshment.
Happy, happy, clappy, clappy. Here's a dance called the hokey pokey. Easy, very simple to do. You get into the groove. I bet you can do the hokey pokey. nowhere to go. Looks so easy, but listen, you know, it's hard to find what you've been dreaming of. But there's something special about our love.
Good job, Mitch. Good job. The rock and roll highlights, the winner and undisputed champion segment of our late night programming. Well, tonight at the closing ceremony, a special expedition set off from Lillehammer to Nagano. It'll take them a year and a half to reach Japan by dog sled and sailboat. Believe me, it's a lot faster if you take the information highway. Tonight we travel a long way down our final information highway until we stop in Nagano, Japan, host city of the 1998 Winter Olympics. Yes, they do get plenty of snow in Nagano, so much that shoveling your roof is a common occurrence. Just as common as relaxing in natural hot springs, good for man and beast alike. And the springs also prove to be a fine place to boil your morning eggs. Traditional Japanese foods are bountiful, noodles and plenty of fish. No aquavit here. The locals prefer sake. And since you can't have an Olympics without a cute mascot, how about the snowlets? Perhaps they'll grow on us. As for a demonstration sport, log rolling is all the rage in Japan. Can't wait for that. As for us, we'll roll into Nagano in 4 years, and we'll continue rolling on from Lillehammer after a message and a word from your very own local station. Melissa,
I love rock and roll
troll,
and the late
Candy,
night show.
and director. Faye works with Mitch on the highlights. Guess who? Susan works the day shift, never saw her. Howard, our researcher, and the main man, Matt Borchauer, it's his last name on television, and Spy.
683. Is there a first class?
Only flies first class.
Well, hi, boss.
Hi, Eli.
How you doing?
It's 20 to 5 in New York. Magdale, another day
11.
shifter and a broadcast
Wait.
associate, and a good one.
That's square.
Northern California, he's our northern light. From the Soviet Union, Shibu. And our show wouldn't have gotten on or off without Louise.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, Steve.
You know what I'm really ready to do? Get rid of this.
Do you think you are fierce?
Rob.
How fierce are you?
My main man. And Catherine.
Late night, this is the gig.
It certainly was. Safe to say, the last home video on this network or any network, and a good 2-year run on the home video. Who better to talk with us about that than Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert? Gene, nice to see you. Thanks for being on Late Night.
It's a pleasure, and it's been a real torture sitting through these home videos. I will say one thing about them, Pat. They are 30% better this year.
Well, we'll get to those.
Than Albertville.
We'll get to those in a minute. First of all, where's Roger?
Gee, I thought he was with you. I thought he was going to be grooming the luge run. They were just going to shove him down head first.
They couldn't find him something for him to wear, so that's easy.
Someone told him it was just a big snow cone eating contest.
Let's first talk about the Academy Awards. We're kind of starved for movie news back here. A great year for movies,
Yeah.
and what's your take on this year?
Well, it's been a terrific year, and it's going to be a Schindler's List year at the Oscars. It's going to win for picture, and Spielberg will win for director, and I can put your audience to bed early that night, March 21st, with the other winners. It's going to be Holly Hunter for actress. It's going to be Tom Hanks in Philadelphia for actor. In the supporting categories, Winona Ryder, The Age of Innocence, and Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. There's 6 big awards for you right there.
We'll take it to the bank. Let's talk about the Olympics for a moment, because I think obviously Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan brought a lot of people to the television
Yes.
sets this time around. You think that's the only reason, or is there any other reasons why so many people watch these Olympics?
Well, I think that's the big reason.
Right.
I think that got the casual viewer certainly to look. Maybe it added another 20% to the audience. The weather outside is frightful, literally. It's been awful here in Chicago, so people are indoors. There isn't an alternative, a better alternative on television. And I think some of the camera work on the events has been just terrific. That camera that shoots along the side of the ice skating venue, that's terrific. I wish there were one that did a similar job in the ski jumping. That's the one shot people really want, is to be up on those skis. They're fascinated. What's it like? I don't know whether you send one off on a dummy camera or something, but that's what people really want.
Right, the pictures have been compelling. Any compelling stories that you think will be made into movies out of here? I could probably guess one, but how many do you think? How many movies are there from this Olympics?
Well, I think that there's the key one, and my goal would be to try and, whoever's going to do the, and it's probably going to be more than one network or cable outfit, would be to try and do the Kerrigan-Harding story smart. You're going to get the ratings anyway, so why don't you try to get into these characters and find out what depth there is in Kerrigan that we don't know. We know she's beautiful and we know that she's a gutsball performer, but, you know, let's get into that character of her. What's behind that beautiful face? And then with Harding, I mean, there's a really rich character, and let's do some reporting. Michael Ritchie is a wonderful director for this project. He did Downhill Racer, he did that Texas Cheerleader Mom picture with Holly Hunter. That's the kind of sort of journalistic attitude I think that should be done on this story to make it not only a highly rated film, but to make it an excellent film as well. Maybe HBO ought to do it because they have freedom of language and no commercials. So they've been doing a real good job.
Yeah, I have a title for the Tanya Harding movie, The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight. But we'll get... Speaking of shooting straight, we took your advice from 2 years ago on the Pat's Home videos, and we tried to focus a little more this year. I thought we did, and I know that you've been watching them and reviewing them, and let's hear your thumbs up or thumbs down on them.
I only have 2 thumbs, and I've watched Monday through Thursday of this week, so I need 2 more thumbs to go down, Pat. The one nice thing about this year as opposed to Albertville is that your videos are 30% better. Why? Because they're 30% shorter. Pat, you cut them down from 50 seconds to 35 seconds. For Nagano, Japan, how about this? Pat's Home still frame, just one shot. Wouldn't that be a good idea?
Now, there wasn't...
Because Pat, look at...
Gene, there wasn't one in the lot you didn't like? Come on.
There wasn't one that I did like, Pat. Here are your story selections for Monday through Thursday of this week. You did your sports desks, staying far away from people and them having wave at the camera. Then you did the gypsy one. That's the one I want people to take a look at. If you missed this one on Tuesday night, this was really great investigative journalism. Here you have a whole culture that people are ignorant about, the gypsies. They have been trashed throughout history. And here's Pat finding some gypsies, and look at the hard questions he throws. Let's take a look.
Pat's Home Video back on the air. You know, when you're at an Olympics, you can see just about anything. And I saw a yellow and orange bus pull up, and out came some gypsies. Big ones, little ones. These are real, live gypsies. They're called tinkers in Europe. Are you guys gypsies?
I don't know.
Interesting.
What are you doing with this thing? Welcome to late night.
Are you gypsies? I mean, that's tough, Pat. You're really working for hard copy, that's for sure.
Gene, those weren't gypsies. That was a convention of television and movie critics.
I see. Oh, just try and make a feature film. You'll be courting me, you know.
We thank you for coming on because Pat's Home Video is dead as a concept now anyway, but thank you for your thumbs down, and I appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you when we get back to the States, Gene.
Pat, as an interviewer, you're terrific, and the Kathy Turner interview you did Thursday night was really very good. Stick to interviewing, junk the home videos.
Good night, Gene.
Welcome home, Pat.
We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Hey, it's time to get live on Prodigy. Now, with the Winter Games upon us, how are you going to keep up with all the excitement? Well, throughout the games, we'll have a special CBS Sports bulletin board with planned appearances by sports experts, athletes, and celebrities. They'll give you an insider's view on happenings and stories from Lillehammer and answer selected questions from members. If you're not a member, call 1-800-979-LIVE now for Prodigy software and 1 month's membership free and get live on the Prodigy service.
I mean, when she gets close, it's no time to get in a sweat.
What guys want is clear.
If I get close and he smells, no way.
What girls want is clear. New Clear Arid Extra Extra Dry. The new antiperspirant so clear, it's invisible.
When we're together, who needs distractions?
Get a little closer with new Clear Arid Extra Extra Dry. Solid and gel.
Yeah, I trust Arid.
I'm in Kmart to pick up my pictures, but something just caught my eye. Something I can picture in my bedroom. And flowers to match the patterns for the bedroom. You have to have a good eye to take pictures. And I picture this in my living room. I know, my pictures are ready. But I'm not. Is this place great or what?
A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep.
Nancy Kerrigan, you've won the hearts of the world. What are you going to do next?
I'm going to Disney World.
Tuesday. No matter where you are on the planet, the Grammys are coming. With Billy Joel, Meatloaf, Whitney Houston, Gloria Estefan, Sting, Aerosmith, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Garth Brooks, Natalie Cole, and many more. Join the rest of the world for music's biggest night. Gary Shandling hosts the 36th.
We also like to experience the international perspective and to appreciate the efforts of the athletes of the world. We wanted to make sure that nothing at these Olympics has been lost in the translation. So here now are the calls of the games.
There's nothing America would like to see more than an Olympic medal for that man.
Godt ut også på de to. Dan Jensen har vært litt uheldig med å få første ytre. Inoue er rask i starten, men han klarer ikke komme opp på høyde med Dan Jensen.
Andy, after a fourth in the final training run, Tommy Moe told the press, I love the course, it suits my style. I'm skiing the best I've ever skied. I can win a medal.
Oh, das war zu spät. Der hat den Schlitten zu lange drin stehen gelassen. Reicht es noch, das Steuer herumzureißen? Deutsch jest Majstrok. いい形で出ました。うまいジャンプだ。伸びる。どこまでも行った。135 meterラインぐらいですか。kommer til å ta sin andre olympiske gullmedalje. Den første tok han på 1500 meter i Albertville. Blir det rekord? Ja, det ble det. 6:34,96. Den utrolige Johan Kaas har slått til igjen. Han bare fantastisk.
Split time, 1:15.85. Coming to the bottom of the course, Moe is in front.
Seems ironic when he has a basic instinct that in the 2 years they've been together, she's given him 3 concussions.
Oh dear.
Und dann der Sturz, die Bilder, die sicherlich um die Welt gegangen sind. Mandy Wötzel.
Addirittura in vantaggio anche nella manche, 117 all'ora, la più veloce di tutti. Ultimo rettilineo per lei. Fa fare persino il miglior tempo di manche per la quarta volta consecutiva. È l'oro per Gerda Weissenstein.
Ja, ta en klar ledelse. Bjørn Dæhlie går inn, men holder det til olympisk gullmedalje? Det er spørsmålet. 24-20, hør på den jublende.
Espen går på. Og lander på 100.
She looked down at her skate. It looked like she was uncomfortable, and I think she's going to quit. How devastating. It's so difficult to compose yourself when you're late. Your name has been introduced.
Look at how high and how far he flew. Og Espen kommer langt. Det blir
Oppdal. Vi setter nesten ut av boksen her. Dobbeltseier til Norge i Lillehammer. Jeg har ikke opplevd maken. Se trenerne.
Får vi lengden? Får vi lengden? 104 meter!
Jansen, a brilliant sprinter, fantastic tech at the start, but in the past has fallen apart on the final lap.
Han rolig og fornuftig foreløpig, Bjørn. Han mister ikke hodet. Øker han takten, se på Bjørn. Han øker takten og går ut til siden. Og Bjørn er oppe på siden av Fauner.
Anche Deli, Fauner ancora in vantaggio Fauner. Ancora un piccolissimo vantaggio per Simo Fauner. Fauner vince l'oro. È d'oro la staffetta italiana. È d'oro.
See her low in her tuck.
It's taking an age to get the marks up. But look at the marks. I can't believe the marks are that low, and listen to the crowd. I cannot believe it. They're not going to win. Torben and Dean, the best they will get is silver. And I have to say, although it sounds a little over-patriotic, we have to be careful. I cannot understand that.
Jansen looks good to be in the lead. Kan du klare det? 1, 10, 11, 12. Ja! Ja, han gjør det! Det er Jansen! Oi, oi, oi!
Unbelievable!
Weltrekord für den Amerikaner!
C'est extraordinaire!
Il punteggio di oltre
Batte il record del mondo, nuovo record mondiale.
Record mondiale. Selv med store problemer i nest siste sving, så går han opp i teten. 1:12:43, ny verdensrekord. Et kjempeløp av den Jansen.
Those are fun to hear again. So many memories of these Olympic Games as we head back to the United States of America. And let's be joined now by a distinguished group of journalists who have been covering the Olympics for these couple of weeks from 3 different countries. Gunnar Grimstad, who's with NRK, which is Norwegian television. Alistair Waddington from Sky News in Great Britain. And our senior late-night correspondent, Ray Gandalf, CBS Sports. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Ray, I'd usually start with you, but we're in Gunnar's country here, so we're going to be polite to him. Are you surprised by the success of the games?
In fact, no.
Really?
No. There was some antagonism when we got the games 4 or 5 years ago, but as it all have proceeded, we had the best of hopes, and finally I think we got our goal. We are very satisfied.
Yeah, I think that Lillehammer stepped up on this, don't you, Ray? I mean, I think the book coming over was that they may not be ready and the people weren't friendly, but I found it completely opposite.
Exactly. I agree 100%. I think they were surprised here a little bit at the number of people who came, and not having a success. I think they expected that. But they were swamped here, and they swam.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Alistair, what was your fastest time down the Storgata from end to end? Did you
end to end or crossed from side to side? I think I did about 8 minutes from side to side once.
It was crowded. What was your take on the 2 weeks?
I think it's been an unbelievable experience, really, and in comparison to Albertville, which was so disparate, everything was spread out, and here there's just a real spirit. The Norwegian people have been fantastic. And the quality of the sport has just been outstanding.
Let me stick with you for a minute. Are the Olympics as popular in Europe, worldwide, as we know they are back in the United States and here in Norway? What's your take there?
I think they are, but the Winter Games in particular has a tendency to fade away at times,
Really?
and particularly in Britain. I mean, Britain is a lowland country. It may have invented a number of these crazy sports, but it's not actually very good at them. And so there is a tendency for the games to fade away. But with you know what happening. There was no way these games were ever going to fade away.
Yeah. What about the success of the Norwegians, which was a tremendous success here in Lillehammer, and you've only got 4 or 5 million people in this country, and 4 million people in this country, and you're the strongest Winter Games contestants.
Oh, well, you know, if we are 4 million people, 1 of the millions are connected with sports in some way. And we are a small country. It's fairly simple to organize a sport. And we have, since the middle of 80, have what we call the Top Sports Center, who is connecting all sorts of sports with systematically with trainers, with experiences, and they're working all together, all sorts of different winter and summer sport, and I don't think you have that in America.
Right. When you refer to our country, you can say 250 to 300 million,
okay.
too, and average it out like I did. What about the Torvill and Dean controversy, Alistair? I thought they were robbed of a gold medal.
Well, I think that 6,000 people in the stadium that night, and I think there were 23 million viewers in Britain, and goodness knows how many the world over, thought that they were robbed, and there were 9 people in the stadium who felt that they came third, and those were the judges. And I think the story that I take away from these games is judging of ice skating generally, and I think skating is really coming to disrepute in these games. The ice dance is one thing. I think some of the judging in the ladies' programme is quite extraordinary, and some of the decisions made in the short track speed skating, for instance, have been extraordinary. There's a British skater, Wilf O'Reilly, who had a crash just before the race started. He took a chunk that size out of his blade and was told that he had to skate on. Yet Tonya Harding gets to the Olympic Games, she has problems with her boots, and she's allowed to start again, and there seems to be no sort of equality between the sports.
Anyway, let's not end on that. I thought it was a great time, and I hope you all had a good time, and since you're the Norwegian here, we thank you for being a gracious host, and we'll see you next time around. Thank you. Late Night will continue in a minute. Stay with us. After a commercial and a word from your local station. Interactive segment where throughout these Olympics we've been in touch so that you're in touch, and we begin with our last look at the world's third greatest newsstand, where our Storgata bureau chief Jim Gray takes his nightly pulse on the world.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. We welcome you back to Narvesen for the final time. As you can see, the racks have all been cleared out, the newspapers are gone, and Gunvor, what now? What next?
After these 2 fantastic weeks with the Olympics in Lillehammer, I've decided to send in my resignation and quit. I've had enough. There's nothing left in my life now when the Olympics over. So I'm sending all the papers home to their countries, and all the people too. I hope they have a safe trip back. So from Narvesen and Norway, I say thank you and goodbye.
Well, Gunvor, thank you very much. We appreciate everything. And Pat, as you can see, the Narvesen is closing down. That's it from here in Norway. We've enjoyed it. Let's go back to the studio.
Jim Gray, uniquely qualified to cover the world of Storgata, and they will surely miss him there. Well, we've been warmed here by the wonderful letters from our little friends who are studying at schools all over the U.S. and Canada. Tonight, our final late-night letter is from a 6-year-old in Los Angeles who writes, "From Sean to Pat. Dear Dad, I like the bobsledders and the skiers. I miss you. See you tomorrow. Bye, Dad." Good job, Sean. Nice-looking letter. We'll be back to wrap things up in Lillehammer when Late Night returns one more time in a moment. The Olympic flame that has burned so brightly for 16 days was extinguished hours ago in Lillehammer Olympic Park. The mighty cauldron is dark, and there's, well, a tinge of sadness in each of our hearts tonight. Time now for Roscoe, our main man, to deliver the goods tonight as we look ahead, way ahead, to the next CBS Olympic primetime show.
The world will be turning Japanese February 6, 1998 in prime time when the 18th Winter Olympic Games begin in Nagano. Join us 1,440 days from now as the Nagano Olympics come to prime time on CBS. Tommy Moe will be on the go, defending his downhill gold. 1994 ladies figure skating champion Oksana Bayo will dazzle on ice at the old age of 20. Elvis Stoico will be in the building trying to become the man in Japan. And will anyone beat Peekaboo Street?
This is Roscoe. And now let's go back to the emperor of the late night castle, Pat O'Brien. Before we do though, Pat, from my heart, Dziękuję, je t'embrasse. Arigato, my friend. Arigato.
Thank you, Roscoe, my friend. Good job this couple of weeks here. Let's go to the Olympic medal count, the final one. Norway on top with 26. That's the 4th most in the history of the Winter Olympics and the most they have ever won. Germany, who won the medal count in Albertville with 24. Russia, still a powerhouse with 23. Tomba got a silver today, and that boosted Italy to 20. United States, the most ever for the red, white, and blue at 13. Canada, 13. Switzerland, 9. Austria got 9. South Korea with 6. Finland, no golds, but a silver and 5 bronzes. Their total is 6. And as you look at these, all the great memories and athletes from this Olympic Games. Our quote of the day we borrowed from another time, John Lennon's last public words as a Beatle. On behalf of the boys in the band, thank you. I hope we passed the audition. Notice how we zeroed in on the date, spring of 1970. Well, this Olympics has passed all the tests. In fact, IOC President Juan Antonio Samaran called this the greatest Winter Olympics ever. It has been an awesome time, and for us here at Late Night, a chance to have a whole lot of fun every night, and we know you had fun along with us. We laughed a lot this year, but behind the scenes, a little less than Albertville. That's because our peerless editor and dear friend, Ray Hickey, is no longer on this earth, and it's just not as funny without him. So we dedicate the whole deal to the Hickster and say thank you to you. We're going to miss this. Good night, everybody.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who's coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it now, just you and me. Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer and who catch all the hair. But they don't have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na, 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it now, just you and me. Yeah. Change it, yeah, just you and me. Change it, yeah, change it. Can't do it alone, can't do it alone. Need some help, y'all, y'all. Can't do it alone, can't do it alone. Yeah, yeah. Wake up, everybody. Wake up, everybody. Need a little help.
This is CBS.
Toyota's got what